had the right documents so that you could push it through, make it happen, and get us the keys to our new home.
Remember, nobody values your home mortgage business more than Townstone. I guarantee it, and I own the company. So call me now, Barry Sterner, at 312-896-2110. That's 312-896-2110. Or go to townstone.com. That's TOWNSTONE.com.
Townstone Financials, Indiana, Michigan, Wisconsin, Florida, Illinois, mortgage licensee 6629 and NMLS 136639, equal housing lender.
It is 5:10 on National Radio Day. Did you know that? August 20th. Set aside every year to celebrate the old wireless. Let's check the roads wirelessly. In the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center this morning, here's Jim Talamonte. Good morning, Jim.
Good morning, Mike. Let's connect those alligator clips and tin cans and get to work here. On southbound Lakeshore Drive, got a crash right in the Grant Park area south of Randolph near Monroe. It's on the left shoulder. Traffic's light, something to watch for in that area. And the only real expressway delays right now are in Kenosha County on the Tri-State or northbound/westbound 94. It's heavy from Highway 142 to the stretch between Highway E and 20, with roadways reduced to 2 lanes for long-term work scheduled into November. There are street closures around Wrigley Field for the Pearl Jam concert. Sheffield and Waveland are blocked off. Sheffield between Waveland and Addison. Those streets are scheduled to reopen early tomorrow morning. Traffic, service of Positive Coaching Alliance. Got issues with youth or high school sports? Positive Coaching Alliance can help. PCA, a national nonprofit, offers more than 1,000 free online resources for youth and high school coaches, parents, students, and administrators. Visit PCADevZone.org. Traffic answers when you need them most. I'm Jim Talamonte on AM 560, The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answers starts next. Your official Chicagoland weather forecast from the 1-hour Heating and Air Conditioning Weather Center. Cloudy, not as warm. Heavy thunderstorms this afternoon, especially afternoon time. High near 79. Cloudy, humid, showers, heavy storms overnight. Low 69. We may be stuck with a passing shower in the morning, otherwise cloudy, breezy tomorrow, high 78. Currently 72 at O'Hare, 73 along the lakefront. Your next news update is at 5:30. Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy starts now on AM 560, The Answer.
This hourly segment is brought to you by Secure Retirement Radio with host Raj Shah. Sunday mornings at 7 on AM 560, The Answer.
This is Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan Proft and Amy Jacobson on AM 560, The Answer.
Good morning, Dan, and in for Amy this morning is Chicago Tribune columnist John Cass. John.
Good morning, everybody.
Hello. Okay. John, great to have you, as always. I wanted to start out with the jury statistics from the weekend because for some reason it only happens once a quarter with the Chicago Press Corps that violence in Chicago is discussed. If you have something happen on, Shoot-a-Palooza weekend, then everybody pays attention. But all that happened on that weekend that made international news was we concentrated the average number of murders and shootings that happen in a week in Chicago into 3 days. This weekend, latest stats I've seen, perhaps Mike Scott can update them, 50 shot, 4 dead this weekend.
And 23 shot since Saturday, I believe.
You had,
And that was covered in the Chicago Tribune.
That's
My
right.
Chicago Tribune.
That's right. You had
a newspaper that actually covers stuff.
The Chicago Tribune reporting over the weekend, just in 14 hours between Friday afternoon and early Saturday morning, there were 25 people shot, including a 3-year-old boy who was among 7 wounded in a single attack. Also, too, just to apprise people about parts of the city that we care about. There was a shooting near Seward Park, Division in Orleans, at a peace event. 3 people shot because nothing is so dangerous in Chicago as a peace event.
Nothing like a peace picnic to take your sticks out.
John, you Division Orleans, that's getting very close to an area of the city we care about.
We care about all the city.
You know what I'm saying.
some people only care about some parts of the city. There were also two, I think on Friday night, beginning the weekend, 2 people were shot downtown, gut shot. Nothing like being gut shot on a Friday night when you've got Saturday to think about.
Sure, the air
2
and water
at
show.
one at a parking lot, one, I don't know, there are 2 shot downtown. So it's getting dicey. And then there were protests over the weekend. A young boy, 15-year-old basketball player, was shot himself. And protesters are all screaming that it was, right, Mike Scott, that protesters were screaming he was shot by police.
The 2 aunts and an attorney were outside 10th District yesterday making that claim.
And hundreds of people in the street. And we're not even in the Laquan McDonald days yet.
So Walter Williams had a piece in the Daily Wire over the weekend. He was still recounting what happened during Lollapalooza weekend, 12 and 74, 13, 14, whatever the numbers were. I mean, I hate to be so dismissive of the statistics, but we're just trying to give you order of scale. It's not that we're cavalier about individual lives. And Walter Williams has Enough is Enough piece talking about violence. I mean, just in Chicago, more of the hand-wringing, but you've written about it. What's your perspective with respect to the stakeholders, the civilian political authority, the Cook County State's Attorney's Office, that side of the criminal justice system, along with the police, and then the residents of the city?
Mayor Emanuel, interestingly enough, a few days ago took grief for saying that Chicago has lost, or some neighborhoods have lost, their moral core. What he doesn't want to talk about is that for the past 70 years, large cities have been ruled by Democrats, and they have, that party has proceeded to deconstruct, just like they want to deconstruct the United States on the left, deconstruct all the institutions that kept people civil. So schools are really not that good. If you ask a public school teacher where she or he sends their children, chances are it won't be CPS.
About 50-50, yeah.
Police, Rahm gutted the police department in a response kind of also to the hiding the Laquan McDonald police shooting video, which would have cost him the election had it come out. And ever since then, he's been speaking in a tiny voice, asking people to, find the better natures, better angels of their nature, and not to be so angry. That was, to me, Dan, the most revealing thing about this election coming up. He's scared, and he's scared about what's going to happen if the Laquan McDonald trial, the Jason Van Dyke trial that's coming up, doesn't go the way the oligarchs and the institutional Chicago want it to go.
Yeah, if he's not convicted.
If he's not convicted, what do you have? Ferguson? What's going to happen? Because when you get 150 people, 200 people out in front of the 10th District, as Mike Scott said, screaming the cops shot this young man, when I don't see how that happened, but they're screaming it. You're going to see more.
Do you think Tiny Dancer's rhetoric about losing your moral core, as you described it, is sort of, I don't want to say a dog whistle, but sort of coded language to people on the lakefront, on the the revenue-producing wards, the upper middle-income families around the city.
Wards, right.
Yeah, where to say, hey, you know what I'm talking about. There's nothing we can do about this. So basically, it's
I would hope not,
because it's a corollary to what he had Eddie Johnson say. Violence is contained in 4 of the 22 police districts. We got it contained. We got it surrounded. Yeah. It's not coming for you. I got you, and there's nothing we can do about them. Is that what he's saying?
I think that's generally what the larger, institutional Chicago wants to say. And I think that's what people out in those revenue-producing wards want to hear.
Well, that's my point.
But the issue is when you get Seward Park, you get people getting shot at a peace march there on Division and Wells. And you get just a few weeks ago, we had people capping off on Lakeshore Drive and on the Gold Coast. Remember that old man, 85-year-old man, holding on to his Mercedes, getting carjacked?
Yeah, that's right.
Getting shot. That stuff, people don't forget that stuff. So it's embedded in their minds. When they start figuring out that there aren't enough squad cars, enough cars in the districts to handle these calls, and that he's put everybody he can in the areas you talked about, the high crime, high shooting areas, where those police officers are working 24/7, no days off, with guns in their hand. We'll see.
Has Kim Foxx been leveled up for public scrutiny enough?
No, not at all.
I want to read an excerpt from retired CPD, 33 years of service, investigative work, including commander of vice and narcotics, deputy chief of organized crime, and so forth.
Is that Mike Hoke?
Mike Hoke.
Yeah, sure.
Known
him for a long time.
He writes, this was a Facebook post, and I guess a letter to the editor. I don't know if it got published. I believe that the police are doing all they can to prevent the violence, but I also believe that the rest of the criminal justice system in Cook County is failing the public. Cook County Board President Toni Preckwinkle has publicly stated that way too many black males are incarcerated, and she has made it her mission to address her concerns. She's influenced State's Attorney Fox, Chief Judge Timothy Evans, and Sheriff Dart to adjust their policies to follow her beliefs. State's Attorney Fox has instructed the Felony Review Unit of her office to limit the number of felony charges brought against individuals who are arrested with a firearm within Cook County. The Chicago Police Department has recovered more than 5,000 firearms in 2018, but I doubt if even half of those arrested were charged with a felony. Chief Judge Evans has instructed the judges in bond court to release as many individuals as possible on recognizance bonds.
He got rid of the tough judges in bond court.
Makes no sense to me that an individual already on parole who has had previous bond forfeiture should be granted a recognizance bond. Yeah. Sheriff Dart is allowing individuals on parole or who have failed to appear in the past for a hearing to walk the streets on home monitoring. There have been credible reports of many of those released on home monitoring are not being tracked by his office, and he's failing to advise the public of the same. The remainder of the criminal justice system, not including the police, is failing the citizens. Are those fair criticisms?
Yes, I think so. Look, when you have the state's attorney running, remember, how did she win the election?
By not being Anita Alvarez.
And Anita Alvarez was hung out to dry by Rahm and David Axelrod.
On Laquan McDonald.
The moment that thing started breaking bad for Rahm, David Axelrod's on Twitter ripping into Anita Alvarez and they're tubing her because they have to save Rahm. And now she...
to stave off Toni Preckwinkle. Right. To keep her at bay.
To give her something.
Yes,
just like they're going to give... they'll give Ed Burke up to Chewy Garcia so he could, Chewy can chew on his leg and maybe half of his ham, right, and get rid of him.
So more
years to come. So
Kim Foxx and Tom Dart and Tim Evans, they haven't received the scrutiny. They haven't received the attention in this story that is warranted.
I like Tom Dart. And I didn't go after him as hard as I should have, and I should have. Kim Foxx, I should have, and I didn't. So, yeah, I got to point at me as well as everyone else.
Step up your game, Cass.
Yeah.
You've made the switch, and it feels so good. You've switched to Chicago's Morning Answer on AM 560. The Answer.
Yes, it's weather time. Mostly cloudy, not as warm. Heavy thunderstorms this afternoon. I guess I'm not going to water my tomatoes. High of 79 tonight, cloudy and humid. Showers and a heavier thunderstorm early, then a shower. Low 69. But who cares about that? You want to get to work, and who can bring you there but Jim Talamonte?
Good morning, John. Great to have you back. Good morning, Dan. Inbound Eisenhower from 25th to Austin. We've still got some morning road work in the left lane, and the traffic's getting a little tight now through that stretch. Inbound Stevenson, you've got about a 2-minute delay, Cicero to Pulaski. Inbound Ryan heavy from Roosevelt into the Burns Circle. Express lane delay start at 31st in about 17 minutes, 95th to downtown. Bishop Ford 16 minutes, 80-94 to the Ryan. Crash on southbound Lakeshore Drive south of Randolph on the left shoulder. Tollways are okay. No delays to report in Northwest Indiana. I'm Jim Talamonte in the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack. But not with ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire. ZipRecruiter doesn't depend on candidates finding you. Its powerful technology actively invites qualified candidates to apply to your job. So, while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you, the needle in the haystack.
Try ZipRecruiter now for free by going to ZipRecruiter.com/hire. That's ZipRecruiter.com/hire.
Live from Chicago, it's Saturday Night Live, The Experience. For the first time ever, get an inside look at the making of SNL. Over 500 artifacts direct from the show. Be a part of Wayne's World, Weekend Update, and so much more. Experience all it takes to put the show together. Now at the Museum of Broadcast Communications at 360 North State Street in Chicago. For tickets, visit museum.tv.
A good parking lot is essential to a good building and a good business.
This is Kevin Berquist. My company is SKC Construction, home of GreatParkingLots.com. Great parking lots. The name says it all. We make your parking lot great. We are an industry leader in seal coating. You can trust our company to do the work for your company. We have the same traditional values as you. We use a process and application that makes sure you get a great job that lasts a long time. I guarantee you'll have a good experience. Check it out, GreatParkingLots.com.
Go to GreatParkingLots.com. Schedule a free inspection and get a quote to make your parking lot a great parking lot. Special early season discounts if you act now. Save the expense. Fix, don't replace. Contact SKC Construction now for commercial parking lot seal coating and maintenance. SKC Construction, home of GreatParkingLots.com. GreatParkingLots.com. You dread the sound of your cell phone buzzing with unknown caller. It's probably your mortgage company calling about your overdue payments again. Maybe you found yourself in a difficult financial situation due to hardship, and now it seems like your world is falling apart. Your home is on its way to foreclosure.
Foreclosure is not your only option. I'm Angela Sikors Epstein of ATC Mitigation Services. We're a company that specializes in short sales, a way to satisfy your loan with the bank and avoid foreclosure. Although other real estate professionals can handle short sales, they just don't have the experience and knowledge of the process like our mitigation company. We'll work with your mortgage lender to get their approval for a short sale. You can even list your property through a preferred realtor.
A short sale can help you avoid the pain and hassle of foreclosure and will stop those dreaded phone calls. Call ATC Mitigation at 630-517-8510 and hear about the benefits of a short sale. If you're on the verge of losing your home, call today or go to easyshortsales.org. A good parking lot is essential to a good building and a good business.
This is Kevin Berquist. My company is SKC Construction, home of GreatParkingLots.com. Great parking lots. The name says it all. We make your parking lot great. We are an industry leader in seal coating. You can trust our company to do the work for your company. We have the same traditional values as you. We use a process and application that makes sure you get a great job that lasts a long time. I guarantee you'll have a good experience. Check it out, GreatParkingLots.com.
Go to GreatParkingLots.com. Schedule a free inspection and get a quote to make your parking lot a great parking lot. Special early season discounts if you act now. Save the expense. Fix, don't replace. Contact SKC Construction now for commercial parking lot seal coating and maintenance. SKC Construction, home of GreatParkingLots.com. GreatParkingLots.com.
It either is or it isn't. When it comes down to it, that's all that really matters when choosing a certified pre-owned Mercedes-Benz. It's either certified by Mercedes-Benz factory-trained technicians or it isn't. It's either backed by an unlimited mileage warranty for up to 5 years or it isn't. It's absolute confidence in 30,000 precision parts or it isn't. The Mercedes-Benz Certified Pre-Owned Sales Event, now through August 31st, only at your authorized Mercedes-Benz dealer. Come in today and take advantage of first month's payment credit and special financing offers available through Mercedes-Benz Financial Services. There are those who settle for nothing less. For them, the choice is simple. It's either up to Mercedes-Benz standards or it isn't. It's flawlessly maintained or it isn't. It's either Mercedes-Benz Certified Pre-Owned or it isn't.
ATC, your authorized Mercedes-Benz dealer. For complete details and limitations on first month's payment credit and certified pre-owned warranties.
AM 560, The Answer.
Dan and John Cassin for Amy J this morning, and talking about Chicago violence over the weekend, updating per Mike Scott, 53 shot, 6 dead this weekend. Steve on the 88 texting in, Chicago's new motto, valued lives matter.
They always did.
Yeah. All right, coming up, speaking of dead, well, this is in the political sense, blame it on the politically dead spy. Hey, don't take my security clearance, says clap on, clap off, Jim Clapper. We'll have it at 5:38. But now we check the headlines with Mike Scott.
69 degrees outside. Storms on the way for today and tomorrow. Former Joint Chiefs of Staff Chairman Admiral Mike Mullen says the president may be making a list of enemies. Speaking on Fox News Sunday, Mullen says he believes the president has authority to pull a security clearance from former CIA Director John Brennan. However, his doing so is problematic.
Well, I mean, one of the things for somebody of my age, it immediately brings back the whole concept of the enemies list for, under President Nixon.
Mullen did say he's not happy with Brennan being outspoken on cable news. One of the first women to call out Harvey Weinstein for sexual assault is now facing her own major accusation. New York Times says Italian actress and director Asia Argento last year agreed to pay $380,000 to an actor, Jimmy Bennett. Bennett claims Argento assaulted him in a California hotel when he was 17 and she was 37. Turkish officials say there was a drive-by shooting today outside the embassy in Ankara. Meantime, National Security Advisor John Bolton is in Jerusalem. He and Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu are discussing what Bolton calls the great challenges facing the two nations. A fire has charred 100,000 acres in and around Yosemite National Park, but this morning it's now fully contained. The jury in the bank and tax fraud case against President Trump's former campaign chief, Paul Manafort, continues deliberations this morning. On Friday, the judge admitted he's now under protection of U.S. Marshals. Once again, it's time to slow down and pay attention in school zones across Illinois, especially as elementary schools and middle schools statewide kick off this week. Illinois State Troopers say drivers need to slow down and they will be in school zones. Beachgoers are being warned about dangerous waves in Lake Michigan. Beach hazard statement is up and around Illinois and Indiana beaches. 3 boys are dead after they were pulled from Lake Michigan in separate weekend incidents, one in Waukegan, 2 near Indiana Dunes State Park. It was a violent weekend in Chicago, at least 6 killed, at least 57 wounded. And the family of a 15-year-old boy is refuting claims by authorities that the teen committed suicide while running away from police last week on Chicago's west side. And it happened over the weekend. The longest current high school football winning streak is over. Kimberly High School in Wisconsin lost 31-28 Friday night to Fond du Lac, snapping a 70-game win streak. It was the school's first loss since a 2012 state quarterfinal. Pirates dropped the Cubs in 11, 2-1. White Sox rally from an early 6-0 deficit to edge the Royals 7-6 at Guaranteed Rate Field, and the Sox are calling up top pitching prospect Michael Kopech. The news service of Mothers Against Drunk Driving. Mothers Against Drunk Driving supports victims of drunk driving, drug driving, and underage drinking at no charge. Call their 24-hour victim helpline, 877-MAD-HELP, or visit madd.org. 5:34 and a check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
Mike Gallagher, The Mike Gallagher Show.
There are plenty of good, solid journalists who do their best to report the news straight down the middle. But there are plenty of corrupt journalists who masquerade as news people who are actually advocates. They're trying to stop this presidency, and normal people know it.
The Mike Gallagher Show. Weekdays at 9, right before Dennis Prager at 11 on AM 560. The Answer.
Did you know, Amy, that McHugh Construction is the premier builder of landmark, one-of-a-kind structures in Chicago and across the Midwest, but they also perform on smaller projects?
Yes, Dan, I do. The Special Olympics Eternal Flame of Hope at Soldier Field, Gibson's Italia, Mad West Restaurant in the United Center, and the recently completed Ritz-Carlton lobby. In fact, McHugh has served public and private sector clients since 1897 on big and small projects, and are proud to have played a major part in improving Chicago's infrastructure and helping to redefine its iconic skyline. For information on how McHugh can play a part in your project, visit McHughConstruction.com.
Yeah, that Gibson's Italia is nice. That's McHughConstruction.com, MCHUGH Construction.com. McHugh Construction proudly supports the 100 Club of Chicago, and many McHugh employees have volunteered their time for the past decade. The 100 Club of Chicago provides financial support and scholarships to families of first responders who have lost their lives in the line of duty. For info on how you can help first responder families, visit 100clubchicago.org.
You dread the sound of your cell phone buzzing with unknown caller. It's probably your mortgage company calling about your overdue payments again. Maybe you found yourself in a difficult financial situation due to hardship, and now it seems like your world is falling apart. Your home is on its way to foreclosure.
Foreclosure is not your only option. I'm Angela Sikors Epstein of ATC Mitigation Services. We're a company that specializes in short sales, a way to satisfy your loan with the bank and avoid foreclosure. Although other real estate professionals can handle short sales, they just don't have the experience and knowledge of the process like our mitigation company. We'll work with your mortgage lender to get their approval for a short sale. You can even list your property through a preferred realtor.
A short sale can help you avoid the pain and hassle of foreclosure and will stop those dreaded phone calls. Call ATC Mitigation at 630-517-8510 and hear about the benefits of a short sale. If you're on the verge of losing your home, call today or go to easyshortsales.org.
537 and a check of your morning roads in the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center. Here is Jim Talamonte.
Thanks, Mike. Inbound Eisenhower Expressway. Traffic's heavy 25th Avenue to Des Plaines Avenue. The travel time is 31 minutes, 390 to downtown. Outbound fine at 29. Edens and Kennedy remain clear. Inbound Stevenson, delays are between Central and Pulaski. 36 minutes, 355 to Lakeshore Drive. On Orion, 18 minutes, 95th to downtown. A little heavier in the express lanes. The delays start at 31st. I-57 fine. Inbound Bishop Ford, it's now about a 5-minute delay. 111th to merge. Southbound Lakeshore Drive, south of Randolph, crash on the left shoulder. Tollways are okay. No delays to report in northwest Indiana. Traffic, service of Geico Chicagoland. In Chicago, Geico now has even more ways to help save you money. Kevin, your local Geico agent, is ready to deliver the personal service you need, the savings you love. Stop by his local office on Cicero Avenue or call 773-582-8888 for Kevin, your local Geico agent. Traffic answers when you need them most. I'm Jim Talamonte on AM 560, The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer continues next. Your official Chicagoland weather forecast from the 1-hour heating and air conditioning weather center. Cloudy, not as warm this morning. Heavy thunderstorms could cross the area this afternoon with a high of 79. 72 right now. Next news coming up at 6. Chicago's Morning Answer continues next on AM 560, The Answer.
Make sure to check out the Income Store live video stream of today's show right now at 560theanswer.com.
Only the biggest stories, only the biggest guests, and only the biggest opinions. This is AM 560, The Answer.
Good morning, Dan. And in for Amy this morning, John Cash, Chicago Tribune columnist extraordinaire. And John.
Yes, I'm not Amy.
You're not Amy, that's correct. Clap on, clap off, clap on, clap off. Jim Clapper, former director of national intelligence under one President Barack Obama, apparently wants to keep a security clearance because as Brennan was doubling down on his accusing the president of treason this weekend on the Sunday Talkies, Clapper was starting to separate himself from Brennan. Likes to maybe still have access to, maybe doesn't want to be thrown in the camp with. John Brennan on Rachel Maddow on the matter of essentially suggesting the President of the United States should be executed because if he committed treason, that's a capital crime.
Capital crime.
I didn't mean that he committed treason, but it was a term that I used, nothing short of treasonous.
Well, you didn't mean that he committed treason, though.
I said it's nothing short of treasonous. That was the term that I used, yeah.
What does that mean, Dan? You're a lawyer? What does that mean, you weasel bureaucrat?
I don't know.
Here's something. If you read anything about John Brennan and how terrible Trump is and all the hand-wringing in the media, and I know because, Dan's here on the radio and me in the newspapers, I'm a conservative floating on a sugar cookie in a sea of liberal milk, okay? And I see it crumbling every day. And if you read anything about that, Brennan, you didn't read about Richard Burr,
yes,
then
Senate
you were
Intel
just being
chairman.
played for a fool.
Right. Brennan, though, just on Brennan and whether or not he's suggesting the president committed treason, walking that back in, he seemed to give the yes and no answer to Rachel Maddow, but he seemed more clear with Chuck Todd even when pressed on it on Meet the Press.
Do you regret essentially accusing the president of treason? Do you regret some of the things you have said?
I called his behavior treasonous, which is to betray one's trust and to aid and abet the enemy, and I stand very much by that claim.
You are the former CIA director accusing the sitting president of the United States. It's not a private citizen. A lot of people hear the former CIA director accusing the sitting president of the United States of treason. That's a monumental accusation.
Well, I think these are abnormal times, and I think a lot of people have spoken out against what Mr. Trump has done, and maybe it's my warning training as an intelligence professional. I have seen the lights blinking red in terms of what Mr. Trump has done and is doing, and is bringing this country down on the global stage, and he's feeding divisiveness within our country. He continually lies to the American people, and the types of things that he's doing, I think I need to speak out. And so I've been speaking out rather forcefully because I believe it's important to do so. I don't believe I'm being political at all. I'm not a Republican. No, I'm not a Democrat. No. And many members of the Congress over the years who have security clearances have spoken out rather forcefully against whoever was in the Oval Office if they weren't from the same political party. So now as a private citizen, they're telling me that I shouldn't do that. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
No, that's okay. Keep talking because
absolutely.
You're an American, and John Brennan's not yet the president of the United States or head of the secret police. So as long as you're not there in that job, John, you can keep talking. I can keep talking.
So I mean,
Dan can talk.
Well, and just on the issue again of security clearance. Now John Brennan is suggesting he's going to litigate the matter. I'm sorry. Everybody has made it clear, including John Brennan's erstwhile allies, what the truth is, which is it's the president's discretion. It's executive privilege with respect to the conference of security clearance. So, okay, go ahead and litigate it. Go ahead and keep talking. Go ahead and keep writing op-eds in the New York Times. Go ahead and litigate the matter of your security clearance. But when it comes to this issue of accusing the president of treason,
that's over the top.
Is it clear that that is what John Brennan said, that is what he believes, and that is what he is standing by? 312-642-5600, turnkey.pro answer line. 64636DA, turnkey.pro text line. So I want to understand why he is sort of somehow entitled to security clearance.
Because if you have, look, they leave government service, they go work for lobbyists, they go to work for networks. That security clearance is their badge of legitimacy. That's how they make their money. And a lot of these guys sell their access. That means they got a Rolodex or whatever it's called now. You know, hey, I could get so-and-so on the phone. Nothing different than Henry Kissinger calling China for Monsanto. I'm just making that up, but it's just that kind of thing.
Well, and don't forget, I mean, Brennan, it's not just selling your access so you could be a pundit. It's also in the space of consulting and defense contracting.
Yes, of course.
Brennan had some time outside of government where he was paid north of $700,000 for his access, his time at CIA, his connections, his clearance, security clearance, one could argue, at least in part. And so this matters, but it's really interesting. So Jim Clapper on
Wait,
with...
we're going to believe him? He stood up and lied to Congress.
Well, right.
Didn't he? He lied to Congress and got away with it. Now we're going to believe him on this.
Just as his colleague John Brennan did. Jim Clapper on with Jake Tapper as to Brennan's fiery rhetoric.
Do you think that John Brennan's hyperbole is an issue here? Is one of the reasons we're having this crisis?
Well, I think it is. I think John is sort of like a freight train, and he's going to say what's on his mind. I think, though, that the common denominator among all of us that have been speaking up, though, is genuine concern about the jeopardy or threats to our institutions and values. And although we may express that in different ways, and I think that's what this really is about. But John and his rhetoric have become, I think, an issue in and of itself.
What a concession.
Two things. Okay, first of all,
finally,
shut up, not you.
Yeah.
The guy who lied to Congress. Once you lie to Congress, here's the thing. When I interview somebody for my column in the Chicago Tribune, and I'm talking to someone who, like, say, had lied under oath, the first thing I've got to ask him is, on the record, why would anyone believe you that after you lied under oath? On TV, they never ask that question. Why? They don't want to piss off the guest? Well, excuse me.
No,
they don't want to anger the guest?
No context. That's one of the, as you know, being that sugar cookie that you are in the sea of liberal milk.
No, I'm floating on the sugar.
Floating on a sugar
Get
cookie.
my self-promoting metaphors, which are not involving lamb shakes, by the way.
Thank goodness.
I know you worried me over that.
But you know this. They never provide context on those that they are looking to elevate for the means of, as conduits for those they want to take down. They'll never give you the uncomfortable backstory, whether it's something.
Omarosa, didn't you cheerlead for Trump? Choo-choo train.
You see it all the time. See it all the time in Chicago too.
Yeah.
If somebody goes after me, somebody goes after a conservative, then you that person is just given the kind of stylized version of who they are,
right?
Because they're serving a purpose for the reporter. Natasha Korecki, formerly of the AFL-CIO Times, now doing her same routine at Politico, did it this weekend.
She ripped on you this weekend?
Yeah, I mean, the same thing. You cast one person in the worst light possible, or take something that you can make the most negative portrayal of them, and then the person you're using to report, to give both sides, the attacker is from the Mormon Tabernacle Choir.
And you never talk about the devil horns or the forked tongue or the tail that's sticking out there. Listen, on the Brennan thing, if I may.
Yeah.
Richard Burr, the Senate Intelligence Committee chairman, and he's not like a total pro-Trump warrior.
No, he's not.
He's a very sober fellow, okay? Senator Burr's statement, Director Brennan's recent statements purport to know as fact that the Trump campaign colluded with a foreign power. If Director Brennan's statement is based on intelligence he received while still leading the CIA, why didn't he include it in the intelligence community assessment released in 2017? If his statement is based on intelligence he has seen since leaving office, it constitutes an intelligence breach. If he has some other personal knowledge or evidence of collusion, it should be disclosed to the special counsel, not the New York Times. And if Brennan's statement is purely political and based on conjecture, the president has full authority. Now, if you didn't read that in any punditry, in any of the punditry over the weekend, then what they're doing is treating you like a moron, as far as I'm concerned.
Well, that's right. And to your point about Richard Burr, number one, he's been a stalwart defender of the Mueller investigation, being allowing it to proceed. And he's been very restrained in talking about anything that's come before Senate Intel, drawing any kind of conclusions about collusion or not collusion, other than to say in this same interview that he gave to AP that you were excerpting, no factual evidence today we've received, quote, no factual evidence today we've received on collusion or conspiracy between Russia in President Donald Trump's campaign. He's still open on the issue. He hasn't come to any final conclusions. No, some of us have, but I'm just giving you Burr's perspective. So it's not, as you said, it's not like this guy is in the tank for Trump. You haven't seen him flack once for the Trump administration.
And he's not as partisan as his co-chairman, the Democrat.
Devin Nunes.
Yeah.
In the Senate.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, well, of course. No factual evidence today that we have received. So, I mean, if evidence is important to you in terms of proving up something like treasonous conduct, you hear it over and over again. And when the Adam Schiffs of the world are asked if they have any evidence, they either, they kind of not yet, it's called coming together. No one can produce anything. And at some point, you got to produce or people move on. You either have a case or you don't. And you go ahead and you do whatever you need to do and interview whoever you need to interview and pursue whatever lead you want to pursue. That's what been the Republican position from the beginning with Mueller, or just with the allegations in general, even before Mueller. Go ahead. But you have to provide evidence at some point. To repeat, for the umpteenth time, the only evidence of a crime we have so far is the unmasking of General Michael Flynn.
You do have collusion. You have Democrats and the FBI and other people in justice like Bruce Orr and others colluding with agents that are working with Russia on behalf of Hillary Clinton, and all you're seeing in the media is collusion, Trump, and I'm not saying the President of the United States is a genius or even that I wanted him to be president, but it shows me why people don't trust us in the media, because of nonsense like this.
Because they shouldn't.
Constantly repeated.
Ben in Milwaukee, you're on Chicago's Morning Answer.
Yeah, Dan and your guest.
John.
How the hell did Brennan get a security clearance, Dan? When he went ahead and on his resume, they would ask about, were you ever a member or associated with the Communist Party? And on his resume, this was years back, he put down yes, he's had affiliations.
Well,
now how the hell?
Yeah.
How the hell does he get a security clearance? I'd like to know about that.
Thanks for the call, Ben. He voted for Gus Hall for president in 1976, and then, so he was, perhaps his first election. I don't know. He was in early 20s.
Yeah, right.
But 76, he voted for Gus Hall, was a communist. I mean, so that's, the height of the Cold War.
Yeah.
Just FYI. Now, he was in his 20s, so youthful
probably
discretion.
Loved Reds with, who was that, with Warren Beatty.
Yeah, Warren Beatty.
I bet you he had 2 boxes of popcorn.
I bet you he saw...
Like the New York Times, that loved Stalin.
Yeah.
Remember?
I bet you, that's right. Oh,
yeah,
sure.
Yeah, 40 million people, kulaks starved to death, murdered. Oh, what are you talking about?
New York Times on Hitler. He's an outdoorsman who loves dogs. I mean, honestly, I've read the excerpts on this show, but and this was in the 30s before he came to power. But nonetheless, he was that was during his ascent. I also bet you, just in terms of trying to one-up you on that, I bet you about John Brennan.
What about it?
I bet you he saw White Knights and he was rooting against Mikhail Baryshnikov and Gregory Hines. I bet you he saw Rocky IV and he was rooting for Drago.
What was he like on Little Nikita? Was he against the Little Nikita?
These are all good questions.
Right.
Should be put to John Brennan during a session of enhanced interrogation.
His
those
favorite actress is probably Kerry Russell. What do you think?
Exactly.
Whoa.
Boy, very current, your reference. John in Wakanda.
Yeah, hi, boys. How you doing?
Hello.
I like the Rocky IV reference, by the way.
Thank you. I will
crush you.
Taking Brennan's security clearance away not only shuts him off from the information stream, but now the other guys who have clearances can't talk to him. So if you take out certain people, they can't converse with each other. So
yeah, right. That's a good point.
That causes, they can't say, well, a third party or a third party, give me some information. I can't have any. They can't do any of that now.
Thanks for the call, John.
Thanks, John.
Ken and Lombard.
Yanni.
Morning.
I had a comment to make about John Brennan. I would
hold him to the same standard of Reagan did since these are his buddies, the communist Soviet Union, and the same standard that Reagan held the Russians to is trust but verify. So bring it on. I'm all ears. When you verify what you're saying, then I will trust you. Another comment I had, too, is I don't know if you happen to hear what former Admiral McCraven said, that John Brennan is a man of honor. And I can understand that people have a dislike for Trump, but to compromise your own personal integrity and make comments like that when it's been so brazen and in your face what this guy's done, I would really want to know, as from one former operator, albeit a different branch, to another operator, why would you compromise your integrity to make a point? This is what Trump does. He gets you going, he throws you off balance, and that's the one thing you don't want to do, is succumb to that. And I'm telling you this, and I voted for the guy. It's just what he does. Now, somebody that's supposedly that smart and that experienced, why would they get taken in by that? That's my question.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Thanks for the call, Ken.
Hear about the big stories of the day, then talk about them right here on Chicago's Morning Answer on AM 560. The Answer.
With the recent rains and wet weather, Permaseal is working very hard to help every homeowner in Chicagoland and Northwest Indiana area. But we need your help. Hi, I'm Roy Spencer, president of Permaseal Basement Systems. We're hiring in all departments, especially sales, customer service, and installation. We're looking for people with a great work ethic, who have ambition, a positive attitude, want to learn new skills, and have a desire to make the world a better place. Sound like you? Then go to permaseal.net/careers to apply today. No experience needed. We will teach you to become an expert in waterproofing and foundation repairs. Even if you're not presently looking for another job, I'd encourage you to consider working for Permaseal. We offer great training, year-round work, tremendous growth opportunities, and a great, fun work environment. To apply, go to permaseal.net/careers. If you're looking for a career change or a dry basement, you know who to call. Permaseal. 800-421-7325 or go to permaseal.net.
Don't forget that you can watch Chicago's Morning Answer on the Income Store live video stream every morning at 560theanswer.com.
5:57. Let's get an update on the morning roads. In the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center, here is Jim Talamonte.
Thanks, Mike. We're seeing delays now on the Kennedy Expressway around O'Hare. Inbound, it's slow from around 190 to Canfield. And outbound delays are now from Montrose to 190. Looking at a travel time of about 29 minutes from downtown to the airport. Plus, it's slow going on westbound 190 from the Kennedy to Manhunt. Eden's still okay. Eisenhower inbound delays start at Wolf Road. 36 minutes, 390 to downtown, outbound 30. Now, Stevenson delays start at Central, or just before Central. It's 42 minutes, 355 to the drive. Ryan, 22 minutes, 95th to downtown. I-57 clear. Bishop Ford, it's about 20 minutes, 80-94 to the merge. 53, traffic is heavy on the inbound side or southbound side from the Adams Tollway to Higgins. It's ongoing construction. Traffic service of Compassion. Check that traffic as a service of Unbound.org. Right now, there are young people across the world facing a tough choice: continue their dream of education or drop out, help their family put food on the table. You can help at Unbound.org. Traffic answers when you need them most. I'm Jim Talamonte on AM 560. The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer continues after a full update from Fox News and your official Chicagoland weather forecast. From the 1 Hour Heating and Air Conditioning Weather Center, here's meteorologist Kevin Snyder.
Today, cloudy and humid, showers and thunderstorms, some heavy for the afternoon, high 79. Evening showers and a heavy thunderstorm followed by a passing late night shower tonight with a low 69. Morning shower, otherwise mostly cloudy tomorrow, high 78. I'm Kevin Snyder on AM 560. The Answer.
It is 72 at O'Hare, the news service of Geico Chicagoland. Hey, Chicago. Geico now has even more ways to help save you money. Kevin is your local Geico agent, ready to deliver personal service you need with the savings you love. Stop by his local office on Cicero Avenue or 773-582-8888 for Kevin, your local Geico agent. 5:59, here are the stories we're following this morning. On AM 560, The Answer. An investigation is underway following the death of two teenage boys found shot in a field on Chicago's far south side. Beachgoers are being warned about dangerous waves today in Lake Michigan. A beach hazard statement is up. at Illinois and Indiana beaches. No one in custody after 5 were shot on Chicago's South Side. Police tell us the shooting happened last night after victims had participated in a weekly softball game. Pirates dropped the Cubs 2-1 at PNC Park, while the White Sox rallied for a 7-6 win over the Royals. WINT Chicago News Time, 6 o'clock.
Another shoe might be about to drop for President Trump. I'm Chris Foster, Fox News. There are reports that the president's former attorney could be hit with criminal charges in the next few days. Live at the White House, Fox's John Decker.
Michael Cohen is reportedly being investigated for bank fraud by federal investigators in New York. The New York Times reports the probe centers on $20 million in loans Cohen obtained for a taxi business owned by Cohen and his family. Investigators are trying to determine if he misrepresented assets in order to obtain the loans. Prosecutors are also investigating whether or not Cohen violated campaign finance laws by securing several deals with women who claim they had sex with Mr. Trump before he became president. Chris?
Well, John, we don't know whether President Trump will answer questions personally from Robert Mueller for the Russia election meddling investigation. We do know, though, that White House counsel Don McGahn has cooperated.
McGahn reportedly spent hours talking to special counsel Robert Mueller, but the president maintains he has nothing to hide. On NBC's Meet the Press, the president's lawyer, Rudy Giuliani, says the White House encouraged staffers to cooperate, and his client
is quite secure that there is nothing in the testimony that will hurt the president.
As far as the president saying the New York Times thinks McGahn is a John Dean-type rat, Dean, a former Nixon counsel, tweeted he doubts the White House has any idea what McGahn said.
Fox's Gernal Scott in New York. Former CIA Director John Brennan says he may sue to stop President Trump from taking security clearances away from critics like him. Current National Security Advisor John Bolton says about Brennan.
When he was director of the CIA, I was very troubled by his conduct, by statements he made in public, and by what I thought was his politicization of the intelligence community.
Pope Francis, in a letter to Catholics around the world, condemns and begs forgiveness for the crime and cover-up of sexual abuse by priests. Fox News, fair and balanced.
President Trump creating some Russia investigation news of his own this week when he...
You can talk about the weather, but the weather didn't pull the trigger.
If the Democrats get in, they're going to raise your taxes. You're going to have crime all over the place. You're going to have people pouring across the border.
We all still share the same objective of making sure that Iran doesn't get deliverable nuclear weapons.
What happens next?
That's a beauty.
Happens here. This is AM 560. The Answer.
It's the Ford Summer Sales Event. And now, while selection is best, it's the best time to buy. With amazing offers across a full lineup of Ford vehicles, now is the time to make summer go right with Ford, America's best-selling brand. Stop by a local Ford store or shop online at buyfordnow.com, because there is no better time than right now to get behind the wheel of a new Ford during the Ford Summer Sales Event. The Ford Summer Sales Event is here. Right now, get 0% APR financing for 72 months plus $1,000 Ford credit bonus cash on a great lineup of Ford SUVs. Best-selling claim based on 2017 calendar year sales. Not all buyers qualify for Ford credit financing. 72 months at $1,389 per month for $1,000 finance regardless of down payment. Not available on Expedition. For all offers, take new retail delivery from authorized Ford dealer stock by 8/31/18. See dealer or go to buyfordnow.com for qualifications and details.
Message and data rates may apply.
If you're considering going back to school, ask yourself the following questions. Do you need the flexibility to take classes on your schedule? Do you have college credits you need transferred? Do you want to earn a quality degree from a world-renowned university? If you answered yes to any of these questions, Arizona State University is the perfect school for you. Arizona State University offers over 150 highly ranked degree programs 100% online. You'll learn the same degree as you would on campus from wherever you are on your schedule. Plus, ASU Online accepts most transfer credits. For information, text ENGAGE to 35517. Learn for yourself why the Wall Street Journal ranks ASU 5th in the nation for producing the best qualified graduates and why 87% of ASU grads are recruited within 90 days of graduation. Learn to grow, learn to succeed, and learn to thrive at Arizona State University. To learn more about ASU Online Degrees, text ENGAGE to 35517. That's ENGAGE to 35517.
This is Dan Proft with 60 Seconds of Sanity for Upstream-Ideas.com. Here's 1 week's worth of leftist intellectual offerings. Former CIA Director John Brennan, whose value as an intel officer closely rivals Chuck Barris's value as a CIA assassin, argued the revocation of his ability to leak classified information was some sort of unconstitutional abridgment of his free speech rights. Brennan was barking on MSNBC and opining in the New York Times that he is being silenced. Elizabeth Warren proposed to save capitalism by nationalizing private property. 350 newspapers colluded to publish the same anti-Trump ransom letter to their readers to prove what well-adjusted, independent-minded journalists they are. New York Governor Andy Cuomo announced that America will be great for the first time if and only if he's either elected president or bumps his brother Chris in CNN's primetime lineup. And of all the cake shops in all the world, a trans person walked into Masterpiece Cake Shop in Lakewood, Colorado because, SCOTUS ruling notwithstanding, the left and their government commissars will make Jack Phillips and every other Christian in America they can target choose between faith and business. The left is impervious to irony, unbounded by hypocrisy, undaunted by legal restraint, unyielding in their quest for dominion over every aspect of your life, and that's just in the last week.
Doctor, award-winning chief medical correspondent, and Salonpas user, Dr. Bob Arnott.
For pain relief, the best solution may surprise you. I found that Salonpas Lidocaine Plus works best for my pain. It's powerful, available without a prescription, and uses 2 anesthetics to numb nerves right where it hurts. It starts to work on contact, providing effective, lasting pain relief I can count on.
Salonpas, in the silver box with the blue wave.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack. But not with ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire. ZipRecruiter doesn't depend on candidates finding you. Its powerful technology actively invites qualified candidates to apply to your job. So, while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you, the needle in the haystack.
Try ZipRecruiter now for free by going to ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Are customers passing you by because it's a major hassle to park in your lot? Convenient and safe parking may be one of the most overlooked aspects of your business. You've neglected your parking lot for way too many years. It's falling apart and could be scaring business away. Pavement Solutions can get your parking lot in shape. With proper care, you can extend the life of your current lot with Pavement Solutions' certified specialty blend product called GemSeal Black Diamond Enduramax. Yeah, it's a mouthful, but the best seal coat product in the industry. It'll protect your lot from sub-zero temperatures to a scorching 110-degree sun and features an abrasive, non-slip coat for safety and durability. With Enduramax, your lot will have that brand new feel and look at a fraction of the price of a new lot. You and your customers will be safe, and your business will look great. For parking lot repairs to snow removal, go to fixmylots.org. That's fixmylots.org and get a free estimate. Plus, learn about getting 5% off your next job from Pavement Solutions. Have you heard about New Life Church Cadets? New Life Church Cadets is a Christian club for boys grades 2 through 8th in New Lenox, Illinois. They also have clubs in the south and southwest suburbs of Chicago, as well as northwest Indiana. In Cadets, boys discover who God is and how He works in their lives and in the world by learning and doing through Bible lessons, merit badge work, crafts, service projects, Pine Car Derby, and camping. Cadets is a part of the Calvinist Cadet Corps, a non-denominational organization whose goal is to help boys grow more Christ-like in all areas of life by providing Christian men to act as leaders and mentors, working alongside the boys. To learn more, visit newlifenewlenox.org or call 815-462-0202. In today's culture, where males take a beating for being what God created them to be, New Life Church Cadets celebrates the male and shows boys how to become Christ-like men.
Hey, honey, what's going on?
I was just logging in and checking on our account, and I thought we were going to do better this year.
I know. I've been trying to watch what I spend. No more stopping for coffee for me.
I don't think giving up coffee is going to do it. We need more income for our day-to-day, not to mention setting aside something for the kids' college and our retirement.
Man, I wish there was an answer.
For most of us, no one ever taught us how to invest, yet it's a skill that we all need. If you're looking to generate extra income, Online Trading Academy, the leader in financial education, can help. Attend one of Online Trading Academy's free introductory classes, and they'll show you how to create monthly, weekly, or even daily income using their patented supply and demand strategy. Plus, this month, they'll send you home with their free investor kit, loaded with guides to smarter investing and lessons from the pros just for attending. Register now by calling 888-984-TRADE, 888-984-8723, or OTAChicago.com, 888-984-TRADE, or OTAChicago.com.
This hourly segment is brought to you by Retirement Zone Radio and the North Shore Capital Group, empowering you Saturday afternoons at 4.
This is Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan Proft and Amy Jacobson on AM 560. The Answer.
Good morning, Dan and Amy. And in for Amy this morning is John Cash, Chicago Tribune columnist. And John, the black vote may not be determinative with respect to the midterms, but it certainly could be determinative with respect to Trump's reelection in 2020. And so the news out this week, into this weekend, of some polling of Trump's job number among black families in this country, job approval among black families in this country is interesting. August 7th NAACP poll found that 21% of black registered voters approve of Trump's job performance. Last week, Wednesday, Rasmussen's tracking survey found 36% of black voters approve of President Trump's performance compared to just 19% a year earlier. Now, 21 or 36, obviously that means a supermajority of black voters disapprove of his performance. However,
they need all.
Yeah, right. If the Democrats, I mean, approval is not a one-to-one translation to vote, okay? Because there's other things that animate somebody's vote. The matchup matters. I may approve of the job he's doing, but I think that person X could do a better job, so I'm going to go home. But if Democrats are getting 90%, then they're not winning elections. And
Donkey Plantation.
I mean, look,
you need people,
If Trump got, I mean, he got 8% of the black vote
it was huge
in 2016. If he got double figures, then pick the socialist of your choice. They are a dead man or a dead woman, dead candidate walking politically.
Why? So let's see. So do you think the Democrats poll too? I think so. And if those polls are consistent with the Rasmussen poll and others, then is that why we're seeing so much talk about Omarosa? She's victims of racism, and you better get your black card or whatever nonsense that is if you're African American and you happen to be
That's
conservative.
interesting. I mean, perhaps, but I mean that'd be the card they're playing. They would play anyway. I mean, that's the only
But
card.
they're really playing it. But notice Omarosa's, in terms of what I read and see in the papers, Omarosa's bigger than Bruce Orr, right? A little bit.
Oh, well, there's no
Just a
question.
bit.
Well, because the whole solidarity and marginality bigot baiting play is so much easier. It's more sensational, and people have a visceral response. So of course they're going to play that. There's no question. And even if it was still 95-5, they'd play it anyway because they need to motivate that segment of their constituency, both the media as well as the Democrat Party, one connected to the other, to turn out and vote.
Complex.
Yeah, to turn out and vote. But the problem they have, so that's a problem they have, I should say. Another one, this is interesting, CBS pollster Anthony Salvanto, who is one of the few on election night to see that it was going to be a long night, that it was going to be contested. He's got a new book out about the limits of polling, but also the utility of it. He recounts how he told the network's anchors and producers after he was watching the tracking polls, including in states that people assumed were going to go for Hillary Clinton, like, say, Wisconsin and Michigan and Pennsylvania, that I told them to get set for a very late night. He said, well, he says of the midterms at present that it's not clear at all that there's a blue wave. In fact, he says it's unlikely. Not as many partisans today are willing to cross lines. He goes on to say, right now, I think the election looks like a toss-up. We see a Democrat pick up in the House in the 20-odd seat range, but Republicans could certainly hold the House. Even though Republicans have not fared well in special elections so far this cycle, it does look like they will be turning out for the midterms. So far, we do not see a large number of Republicans saying they will flip and vote for a Democrat. And the one other interesting thing about the tracking poll that he's basing these conclusions on is voters say the Democrats need to do more than just oppose Trump. He said the voters he's talking to in the swing congressional districts, which are the relevant ones, frankly, they're asking what are they arguing we'll get if they take the majority. And that's sort of interesting because
impeachment, tax increase, maybe, two things.
Well,
and no plastic straws.
Well,
Let's get real. Let's do what people really want.
Well, what's funny, though, is do you think Democrats may be a bit tone deaf with respect to this? Because Steve Israel, former DCCC director, writing in The Atlantic, Democrats don't need a national message. On the one hand, you have Salvanto saying voters are telling him they want to know what are we going to get if Democrats take the majority, and Democrats, at least a prominent one, saying we don't need a national message.
They know what their message is. Pelosi will be grandmother for the United States, and they'll impeach Trump. That's the come on, man.
Yeah, I don't.
People aren't jumbalones. They know this.
Well, the question is that enough? Is impeachment of Trump if you have
and the race card
antipathy
and the
towards
black
Trump
card and all that nonsense?
Well, but that's the same old.
Yeah, they're pushing it. I don't know if that's enough. I'd like to see what they really stand for. I haven't heard it.
Well, you were hearing it from
investment or something like investment.
You were hearing from Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez for a while.
But she kicked the reporters out of her town hall.
That's right.
I anticipate 300 editorials tomorrow on the left against the press. You think I'll see it?
Why is Ocasio-Cortez hiding? She is the de facto head of the Democrat Party, certainly the intellectual leader, Maxine Waters.
Maxine Waters. Either way, remember this: if socialism actually is, made the law of the land, then I'd call dibs on the zoo animals that have the fattest hams, because you know what happens when socialism takes over. Eventually, first toilet paper goes, and then we eat the zoo animals.
Yeah, right. See Caracas for a present-day example. A happy birthday to the leader of the Democrat Party, Maxine Waters. That's what President Trump tweeted out. Nice birthday wishes.
Anti-Maxine.
So I guess there's some competition for the intellectual leadership of the Dems. But
I did want to ask you, if I may.
Yeah.
I've been butting in lately in this since I've been here. I hope I'm not being rude, but I do want to ask you about this poll. And black attitudes toward Trump seem to be improving. My question is, why has the Republican Party been unable to exploit a real division, wedge in the cities, which is every time you see a hotel going up in Chicago, you see, blocks, the line going around for blocks with African-American people wanting to get jobs. Why aren't they exploiting illegal immigration and the effect of that on wages and low-skilled jobs? Why has the Republican Party failed to do that? You would seem to, because the Democrats would. They know how to do a street operation. Why don't I see that on the Republican side?
Well, I think there's a couple of reasons. One is with respect to the black community, it's not at all clear to me that motivates their vote, the immigration issue. That may be the prevailing opinion, but that's not the same thing as saying that's the issue on which their vote turns. That's one. So how much ground is there to gain with that as your value proposition? Number two, you just have a whole host of big business, big government Republicans that essentially start from the premise of the left with respect to immigration, and
because they want cheap labor.
Well, right, and also they're afraid of being called racist. I mean, you understand
they want cheap labor.
Well,
they want cheap labor in the packing houses in their chicken farms. They want cheap labor.
That's an aspect of it, but you can't look past this other aspect of starting from the left's premise so you get to the left's conclusion, which is lawlessness, abolish ICE. Oh, I don't know about that. Well, that's the premise you're starting from. That's where this is going, and you're an accomplice in it for the kind of the big business, big government Republicans in the city of Chicago is a good example. The North Shore is a good example. Just because they're afraid of being called racist by blacks doesn't mean they're not also afraid of being called racist by Latinos, right? So if they're just as afraid of the NAACP or as they are of ICER, right? So any group or person of color who would call them a racist, well, you have to understand these country club Republicans just descend into a puddle of tears.
Yeah, maybe.
That's a part of it too.
But there are operatives there are political operatives, and I'm not talking about whether or not it's the right thing or the wrong thing. I'm talking about I don't see it happening, and Democrats would work that angle if the hat were reversed.
Well, I mean, I think
because that's a natural angle. I remember a guy telling me I know it's anecdotal, but it turns out to be true. A guy tells me at a homicide on the West Side, he says, I can't talk to you. I really want to talk to you, but I can't because I got to take 3 buses and a train to get to Elgin. I'm the last black man at my factory. And I'm thinking, wow.
Well, I think there's
something there.
Yeah, perhaps. I mean, certainly I think there's a law and order message here with respect to violent criminals here illegally and the idea of sanctuary city, sanctuary state. I mean, why can't
ID cards from Mayor Zorro, that sort of thing.
Why can't we talk about that issue here? Because you got a Republican governor that's signing sanctuary state legislation. That's part of the problem. This is the surrender I'm talking about.
Gotcha.
But the issue in terms of that being part of the issue, law and order, as it pertains to this, when you want to talk about violence in Chicago or violence in this country generally, the many cases that we've talked about all the time of people who shouldn't be in this country, and everyone agrees, and yet they're here, and local authorities don't honor ICE detainer requests in sanctuary cities and sanctuary states, and then the next person gets raped or violently assaulted or killed unnecessarily. And if you can't generate consensus on that, then the country's sort of lost. And the Republican Party certainly is, if the Republican Party can't generate consensus on that. The other thing I'd say, though, too, is I think there's a real desire to accentuate the positive, particularly in the era of Trump, because it is so contentious. And so you see, like, this op-ed at Real Clear Politics by Jake Kasten, who's the political director for Paul Ryan's one of Paul Ryan's operations. He makes the point that CNN survey from this summer, 57% of Americans say things are going well in the USA Today, which is the largest proportion to share these sentiments since January of 2007, before the crash. And so I think one of the things they say is we need to do more to accentuate the positive, to talk about how the economy is performing, where the job creation that's going on, the deregulation that's spurring growth, and you talk more about, to the Salvanto's question from those swing district voters, what's in it for me, what's in it for you is prosperity and opportunity for your family. And I think there's a desire for Republicans to go in that pro-growth message because of the evidence, rather than just pick the issues that are so divisive and get into all of the fights that President Trump picks. I mean, I think that's part of it as well. And I don't think it's illegitimate. I think you can walk and chew gum at the same time. I think you could take on an issue like sanctuary city, sanctuary state, border security, ejecting violent criminals who are not in this country legally, as well as talk about economic growth. Mike in Crown Point, you're on Chicago's Morning Answer.
Good morning, guys. Great show.
Thank you.
I think one of the reasons the polls, discussions, people's interpretation of the polls are always so wrong with Trump is there's only one explanation. He's a paradigm shift. All the old rules don't apply. Trump is the first Republican I've seen that will actually fight back with the press. When somebody called a previously Republican politician a racist or whatever, there was silence. And when somebody accuses you of something and you're silent, that's a de facto admission that, yeah, you are.
Yeah.
And Trump doesn't take it.
Thanks for the call, Mike.
Listen to podcasts of Dan and Amy from the AM 560 mobile app. Download it today at 560theanswer.com/mobile.
Your local 1 Hour Heating and Air Conditioning knows how miserable it feels when your AC goes out. You want it fixed fast, fixed right, and get a fast quote. Unlike some companies, we don't give you a quote until we actually see what the problem is. Then we'll give you our straightforward price and always stand by our work. Right now, get savings on any AC repair. Call 855-1HOUR.
Your comfort is just a call away. Call 1 Hour.
Terms and conditions may apply. Call for details. Independently owned and operated. Licensed in the respective state or county.
Does your dog itch, scratch, stink, or shed like crazy? Come to Dynovite for help.
Order a 90-day supply of Dynovite.
Dynovite is nutrition.
Pick up 2 bottles of LicoChops. Get the 3rd bottle free.
New improved LicoChops with omega-3, omega-6, vitamin E.
And now, 6 extra direct-fed microbials.
Even better for the digestive tract and immune system.
Try LicoChops. Buy 2, get 1 free.
At Dynovite.com.
DINOVITE.com.
Balance of Nature's fruits and veggies in a capsule.
I've got ankylosing spondylitis, which is a arthritic disease, calcification of the major joints and spine, and I just don't have the pain that I used to have. It's really kind of amazing. Balance of Nature has been an amazing product. I've recommended it to literally hundreds. I'm a pastor, and I've said, y'all just try it. Give it a month. Give it a try. And so hopefully they have. But it's an amazing product, and the neatest thing is when you first open up that bottle, and you can smell the fruits and vegetables. Every time I open one, I just get a big kick out of that.
When you call, use discount code CHICAGO, and we'll take 35% off your first preferred set of fruits and veggies and have them shipped to you free. Call 800-246-8751. That's 1-800-246-8751, or go online to balanceofnature.com and use discount code CHICAGO.
Ford Summer Sales Event continues at Joe Cotton Ford. That means you'll find the lowest prices of the year on all our great new and certified pre-owned Ford models. Get 0% for 72 months plus $1,000 bonus cash on Explorers, Escapes, and Edges. And it's the perfect time to get a new 2018 back-to-school Focus right now for just $14,995. Come in and see why we're Chicagoland's best Ford buying experience and why Ford is America's #1 brand. We've been treating people like you like friends and family for 44 years. And for the 5th year running, we're again your favorite Ford dealer. Don't forget all the Joe Cotton Ford exclusives that make a Ford from Joe Cotton Ford a better value. It's our promise to you. We'll treat you great and save you money. From 3 generations of our family to yours, you have our word on it. At Gary and North Avenue in Carroll Stream or at joecottonford.com. Through August 31st, all prices plus tax, title, license, and dock fees with approved credit. See dealer for details.
Sometimes when it rains, it pours right into your basement. This is Gus from Chicagoland Waterproofing. My mission is to identify why your home is taking on water and fix it. I want you to sleep at night during a rainstorm and not worry about your basement filling up with water. Like our client Kim from Mount Prospect.
We had chronic basement flooding and no one could figure out why. During a huge storm, water was pouring in through the window wells of our finished basement and we had to bail out 6 inches of water. We got a bunch of estimates, but Gus's was the most reasonable, plus he knew exactly what the problem was. He put in a full basement drain tile system and an additional sub pump with a backup battery. Chicagoland Waterproofing gave us peace of mind. I like to say, in Gus we trust.
From simple sump pumps to complex storm drainage and crack foundation solutions, Chicagoland Waterproofing's work comes with a lifetime warranty. Plus, a fully licensed plumber is always on staff. Request your estimate today at ChicagolandWaterproofingPros.com or call 847-296-3500.
Signature Bank is Chicago's fastest growing independently owned business bank. It's a bank where relationships still matter. Signature Bank knows your name and your story. I'm Dan Proft, and I know this because Signature Bank is my business bank.
I'm Tom Goleb, Chief Financial Officer of Navitas Systems, a leader in the next generation of advanced battery technology and a customer of Signature Bank. A few years ago, I heard Signature Bank on an AM 560 radio ad, just as our previous commercial bank was being acquired. I knew Mick O'Rourke and Kevin Bastuga from a prior enterprise. I valued my relationship with them and the way they worked to earn my trust and my business. So I decided to give Signature Bank a call. They took the time to understand our early stage technology company that has its own set of challenges. Signature Bank took care of us, and now we are satisfied customers.
Signature Bank is looking for their next success story. To learn more about turning your business vision into reality, visit signaturebank.bank. Signature Bank, helping local businesses succeed. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
AM 560, The Answer.
Dan and John Cass in for Amy J. And John, you had to see Sister Mary Jo Sobiek from Marian Catholic over the weekend, didn't you?
I've seen the clip, yeah.
This is going viral. At least if nothing else, Chicago produces some very colorful nuns. You had Sister Gina, you got Sister Mary Jo. She was, she threw out the first pitch at the Sox KC game.
She bounced it off her bicep.
Yeah.
Then picked it and threw a breaking ball right over the plate.
I mean, it was a great yacker. There's no question about it.
Filthy nun.
Not wearing mom jeans.
No.
Got it to home plate. She had a glove on.
I bet you if you asked her who is her favorite Sox player at Kaminsky Field,
she'd be able to
whatever
name one.
Obama said, yeah. She'd probably say Dick Allen.
This is Sister Mary Jo, who is going to throw out the first pitch, but with a little added extra. Look at this thing. A pretty good job of it. Throws it in the zone.
So I asked her, how hard can you throw a baseball? And she purposely took something off it on the pitch there because she wanted to show her impressive movement. And she said she's been to like a county fair or an amusement park where they have that game where you can throw the baseball and they'll tell you how hard you throw it and you try to match it. She said she threw the ball. Ready for this?
Yeah.
76 miles per hour.
Man. That's pretty good. I was impressed with how quickly it got back in her hand on that video. It's magic.
Greatest athlete Marian Catholic has produced since Tyler Eulis. And the funny thing that, what turned out after that on Saturday night, she started for the Sox on Sunday.
They have, they're selling Kopech jerseys, though. I want to tell all my Sox fan friends, calm down. He hasn't even started his first game. They're already selling Kopech jersey.
Give
me a break.
Wait till you see the Sobiek jerseys, how fast they're going to go. All right, coming up, Rudy G explores the metaphysical question, what is truth? But now we check the headlines with Mike Scott.
Yeah, we'll have that in just a moment. Cloudy skies this morning, 69 degrees. And developments from Rome this morning, where Pope Francis issues a letter to the global Catholic community in response to last week's Pennsylvania grand jury report, alleging more than 300 Catholic priests sexually abused at least 1,000 victims decades ago. In that letter, the Pope acknowledges what he called an abuse of power. 2 are dead this morning after a shooting at a Texas food distribution plant near Houston. Missouri City Police say the shooter, who was a woman, and a male employee are both dead. President Trump's attorney, Rudy Giuliani, raising eyebrows with his use of legalese on NBC's Meet the Press.
Truth isn't truth.
Giuliani clarified his comments about truth isn't truth, adding that the president would say he did not collude, while witnesses for the government might say there was collusion. Former CIA Director John Brennan says he may take legal action against the White House.
I am going to do whatever I can personally to try to prevent these abuses in the future. And if it means going to court, I will do that.
Brennan made the comments on NBC's Meet the Press regarding his security clearance being revoked. We're watching a big business deal develop this morning. PepsiCo is planning to buy SodaStream, the Israeli make-it-yourself carbonated beverage company. $3.2 billion deal will let Pepsi reach customers at home. It's once again time to slow down in our state and pay attention in school zones as elementary and middle school kids go back to school this week. And Illinois State Police say their troopers will be on hand and drivers need to slow down. Beachgoers are being warned about dangerous waves on Lake Michigan this morning. Beach hazard statement is in effect. The National Weather Service says Illinois and Indiana beach waves could reach 5 feet with strong rip currents. And Dennis Rodman was in Chicago over the weekend saying Chicagoans are the only ones who ever gave him support.
A lot of great memories here, great people. I know one thing. When the day I die, I'll make sure I'll be buried in Chicago.
Former Chicago Bull took the stage during a Pearl Jam concert at Wrigley Field. Apparently, took some time to talk about North Korea, saying he'll make several trips to the reclusive nation in the future and still has a friendly relationship with North Korean leader Kim Jong-un. Pirates dropped the Cubs 2-1 at PNC Park. Adam Frazier, the game-winning home run in the bottom of the 11th. White Sox rallied to beat the Royals 7-6 at the rate of Asael Garcia. Tim Anderson, Omar Narvaez homered in a 6-run fourth. Sox and Twins in a makeup game at Target Field later on tonight. The news, a service of Unbound.org. Right now, young people across the world face tough choices. Continue their dream of education or drop out to help their family put food on the table. You can help change their future in a single moment. See how far your support can go at Unbound.org. 6:34. A check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
Dennis Prager explains the new religion in America.
All the isms, social activism, Marxism, socialism, humanism, environmentalism, feminism, they're all isms. They are all religions. They fill the vacuum that past beliefs had. The obvious one being, for most Americans, Christianity.
The Dennis Prager Show. Weekdays at 11, right before Sean Hannity at 2 on AM 560. The Answer.
Hey guys, Ken here from the Business Accelerator podcast, Today's Growth. If you had to choose a vehicle to take you up the rocky side of a mountain, would you choose a Ferrari or a Jeep? The Ferrari's faster, cooler, maybe even sexier, but if you have to get to the top, the Jeep's a better bet. I think we can agree getting to the top is not about the driver, it's the vehicle. Have you noticed people often pick their financial vehicle like they pick their cars? Washington Post shared that only 1 out of 4 people choose a job that uses their college degree. Why? Simple. Something more immediate, maybe cooler, maybe even sexier came along first. Shouldn't the main deciding factors for revenue generation be production or output? Should the cool factor have any weight in choosing someone's income? If getting to the top of the financial mountain is mission critical for you, why not add a few Jeeps to your garage? Could your household or business use an additional revenue model that makes it to the top every time? If so, you have to see the Jeeps lined up at IncomeStore.com. That's IncomeStore.com.
It is 6:36. Let's get an update on the roads this morning. In the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center, here is Jim Talamonte.
Thanks, Mike. Eastbound Eden Spur traffic is heavy. Tri-State to Waukegan Road. The Edens is 23 minutes. Lake Cook Junction outbound 20. Kennedy, 38 minutes now. Here to downtown. 22 from Montrose, 18 in the Express. Outbound delays start at Montrose. Looking at a travel time downtown to O'Hare, about 38 minutes. Eisenhower inbound. Delays start at Manheim, 38 minutes, 390 to downtown, outbound 31. Mount Stevenson delays start before Central, 43 minutes, 355 to Lakeshore Drive, outbound 36. Ryan, 24 minutes, 95 to downtown. Bishop Ford, just 18 minutes, 80-94 to the merge, and I-57 is fine. Northbound Tri-State heavy in pockets from the Reagan Tollway to Lawrence. Northbound Veterans Memorial tight, 75th to the Reagan Tollway, and southbound 53 from the Adams Tollway to Higgins. Traffic service of Applebee's. Back to school is a whole lot tastier when kids eat free at Applebee's Monday through Thursday, now through August 30th. Get one kids meal free with each adult entree. Dine-in only, valid for kids 12 and under ordering from the kids menu. Participating Applebee's locations only. Applebee's makes back to school taste better. Traffic answers when you need them most. I'm Jim Talamonte on AM 560, The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer continues next, and your official Chicagoland weather forecast from the 1 Hour Heating and Air Conditioning Weather Center. Cloudy this morning, not as warm. Heavy thunderstorms move into the area beginning around noontime and off and on throughout the afternoon, high 79. Cloudy, humid, showers, and maybe a heavy storm overnight, lows 69. Currently 71. Next news coming up at 7. And Chicago's Morning Answer continues next on AM 560, The Answer.
This hourly segment is brought to you by On Target Radio. From firearms and Second Amendment rights to personal freedoms and government intrusions. Listen here Sunday nights at 9.
You want more than just the headlines? Find out what's going on and what it means with me, Dennis Prager, this morning at 11, right here on AM 560, The Answer.
Good morning, Dan. And in for Amy J this morning is the equally leggy and lovely John Cass of the Chicago Tribune.
Lovely, definitely. When you say my name, you think lovely.
Yeah. No,
right.
There's no question about it. John, the jury resumes deliberations in the Paul Manafort trial this morning.
What will happen?
You got Mueller's team recommending a 6-month prison sentence for Papadopoulos for
Chicago's
lying
own.
to the FBI.
Right.
I don't know if that Papadopoulos' wife is going to be satisfied with that. She's acted as his de facto spokesman through much of the saga, as you've seen. Papadopoulos, international man of mystery.
That may be true, and he may be a puppet, and he may have been used by both sides, and not one side being Putin and the other side being Mueller. But I'm worried, what about the professor, Miss School? Why aren't we hearing about him, the mysterious professor?
He disappeared,
Oh.
and that's why they want the 6-month sentence for Papadopoulos, because they could have stopped him from leaving the country, and he hasn't returned, questioned him, perhaps charged him if he did something illicit. That's so says the Mueller team in their sentencing recommendation to a judge.
I'm getting a sense from you that you're not buying into the whole Mueller is God on earth.
Paragon of moral
Yeah.
virtue, American treasure, as John Brennan called him.
More than a bishop.
And a lot of Republicans have showed unbelievable deference and patience with Mueller too. I've sort of exhausted my tolerance of that. You know, remember the line from Seabiscuit when he's going to race War Admiral, and the paper talks about War Admiral being a perfect horse, and Jeff Bridges says, "Show me something that's perfect, and I'll show you something that's not perfect." All you have to do is scratch a little bit below the surface. We've talked to actually some former FBI agents who worked under Bob Mueller at the FBI, and they remind you about cases like the anthrax case, where Mueller and Comey got it wrong, and they pursued the wrong guy, and they wouldn't listen to profilers who were trying to tell them to pump the brakes, and they wound up settling a 7-figure lawsuit with respect to the guy they wrongly pursued in that case. So, yeah, and pardon me if I'm not into the hero worship backslapping game that the Beltway crowd and some goofballs on talk radio are in with respect to Mueller. It's just not me. I look at what somebody does. Let's see the work product, and boy, oh boy, if even though Manafort is facing another trial in D.C., if he were acquitted or the jury was hung in this case, remember they asked for clarification on the definition of reasonable doubt.
Right.
Not a great
good
sign.
if you're a prosecutor.
No.
You want that guy convicted in an hour so they could have lunch.
And the sort of like cone of silence. I get the Mueller team, and you don't want to disclose, and you don't want to politicize, and so forth. But the complete lack of explanation, how long it takes, how much scrutiny is required for these agencies to hold themselves accountable with respect to their personnel, whether it's senior leadership at FBI or whether that's Bruce Orr guy at Justice.
All that's legit, but here's the problem with that. Eventually, you're the president of the United States. The Congress wants documents. You can declassify that stuff and let it go.
Yeah, I agree. He should.
But he doesn't.
He should.
He doesn't.
I agree, but here's the trick bag I think the president's in, assuming that there is nothing to hide there, and so that's an assumption. I don't know. And if there is something to hide, then it should be unearthed. If he does that, remember, any pronouncement he makes or action he takes is seen as more evidence of collusion, obstruction, and this is going to be the basis for some phony baloney charge of obstruction against him, or argument of obstruction against him if Democrats take the House.
I don't hear collusion anymore. I hear obstruction.
Right.
If they don't come with a real charge on this guy, then what they've done, all of them, and that whole crowd, that whole simpering, mincing crowd in Washington, on both sides.
Yeah.
Look, Versailles, okay? It's Versailles. That's where it is.
Rudy G sort of serves as the president's legal team spokesman.
He could be in Versailles talking about the existence of God, or not.
The other line they're pushing, is when is Trump going to sit down with Mueller? What's going on with that?
Right.
Why so recalcitrant? Okay. So Rudy G explored the metaphysical question, what is truth, with Chuck Todd, which wouldn't be my philosophical partner to have that discussion. And the question I have, and I'll put to you and the listening audience after we hear from Rudy G., Is it time for Trump to explore a different person as his face guy for the Trump legal team?
Like yesterday.
312-642-5600, turnkey.pro answer line, 64636DA, turnkey.pro text line.
You believe this is on them, that you would have, that you guys have not delayed the interviewing, delayed the negotiations with Mr.
Yes,
Mueller?
each time by 3 or 4 days so we could write a letter in response. They have taken 2 to 3 weeks to get back to us. So what I have to tell you is, look, I'm not going to be rushed into having him testify so that he gets trapped into perjury. And when you tell me that, he should testify because he's going to tell the truth and he shouldn't worry, well, that's so silly because it's somebody's version of the truth, not the truth. He didn't have a conversation
Truth is
about...
truth. I don't mean to go like...
No, it isn't truth. Truth isn't truth. The President of the United States says, I didn't...
Truth isn't truth. Mr. Mayor, do you realize what...
No.
This is going to become a bad
don't
meme.
do this to me.
Don't do truth isn't truth to me.
Donald Trump says, I didn't talk about Flynn with Comey. Comey says, you did talk about it. So tell me what the truth is.
Don McGahn might know.
If you're such a genius, Don McGahn doesn't know. If that's the situation, they have 2 pieces of evidence. Trump says, I didn't tell him, and the other guy says that he did say it. Which is the truth? And maybe you know right. Because you're
Under
a genius.
2 people, I know you're right. I don't read minds on that front. Let me ask you this final question.
No, let me finish. We have a credibility gap between the 2 of them. You got to select one or the other. Now, who do you think Mueller's going to select? One of his best friends, Comey, or the president, who he has been carrying on a completely wild, crazy,
is it possible?
Unorthodox investigation?
I hope truth isn't truth doesn't become what the definition of is.
You're having a conversation about truth with Todd at Meet the Press? First of all, okay, big mistake.
Well, and I understand what Giuliani is trying to say, but the point of having somebody go on to these shows is for them to say what they're trying to say properly.
What's he trying to say? Because I think they should. I think if it were me and Trump was grandpa and I was in charge of his estate, I would say, hey, Rudy Giuliani, when I can see like that old man thing where they got like little grit and they're trying to work it around their teeth on TV, you know what I mean? The tongue moving in and out. Look, we're all going to be old if we're lucky, but still, time to go. Get yourself a good lawyer, man.
You can't have excited utterances like truth isn't truth. You explain. I mean, this is like why not put Jay Sekulow out there? I suspect he would have very calmly explained. Here's what Mueller is trying to do, and if it's a he said versus he said, it will be the basis for a spurious prosecution or impeachment proceeding of President Trump. And so we're going to make sure that the ground rules are fair to President Trump, since, again, this investigative team, according to every account, has produced no evidence of
biased,
anything
blah, blah, blah.
other than possibly Paul Manafort's illegal activity with respect to his business dealings.
Years
or possibly
before,
Papadopoulos lying to federal authorities.
The problem is that Donald McGahn, another Trump lawyer, is talking to the special prosecutor.
Yeah, is it a problem? It's not clear that it's not. No, actually, it's not clear that it's a problem.
Is it? If it was the outfit, it would be a problem. He'd be.
Well, Trump said he's not a rat, so you won't have to get knocked
he's
off.
Not a rat.
No, but
if they ask you to go to Chinatown for spaghetti dinner at midnight, don't go. That's what I'd say.
We have no idea what McGahn was asked or what he provided, right? So, I mean, they've interviewed all kinds of people. This is the frustrating thing about this investigation is all sorts of people have been whistled in. All sorts of people have offered testimony or answered questions. And where are we at? With Richard Burr, the chairman of the Senate Intel Committee, this week saying we have seen no evidence of collusion or criminal conspiracy between the Trump administration and Russia.
Right. So what are we watching? A takedown of a president?
Well,
that's dangerous.
But if that is the effort afoot, then you would think the Praetorian Guard of this president would be better at protecting him, or the president would get better Praetorian Guards, because Rudy G isn't cutting it right now, in my estimation. Bruce in Bloomingdale, you're on Chicago's Morning Answer.
Judge Jeanine won't be an improvement. I'm just saying.
good morning.
Yeah.
I think Rudy ought to be given a nice gold watch, thanked for his efforts, patted on the head, and sent back to wherever he came from, and bring in Mark Levin and snap the leash off.
All right, thanks for the call, Bruce. Rudy G's performance is one of the reasons he sort of never got out of the gate when he tried to run for president. Remember that?
What happened?
In
What did he
2008?
do?
Well, I mean, he just was, I don't know, maybe in the 90s that shtick worked in New York, or maybe he was better at it, the timing.
He wasn't 100 years old then.
Well,
come on, he's like, truth is not truth is truth. Come on, man.
Yeah.
Chill.
What about Judge Judy? You know what? She wouldn't do it. She makes too much money. She's the
Or
highest
Judge
paid.
Janine.
I know, but Judge Judy's the highest paid person on television.
Get out of here.
I'm not kidding.
More highly paid than Brian Stelter or whatever his name is, that little bald-headed weasel on CNN?
Judge Judy makes more money than LeBron James. Not kidding.
Yeah, Judge Judy, keep dribbling. Don't talk politics.
Sign of the apocalypse.
Right.
Tom in Deer
Cats
Park.
with dogs.
Good morning, gentlemen. You're on the right track. Both the previous caller and what you're discussing is why Rudy Giuliani is the perfect legal representation for Donald Trump, because legal representation for Donald Trump isn't based on legal acumen. It's what you can address to the audience. The audience is two entities. One, it's the Fox News viewer. It doesn't understand it really gets into this sort of stuff, and this Orwellian blather goes right to that part of their brain. And the other viewer is Donald Trump, and it's a circuitous loop. So they're both feeding off of each other. The dumber Rudy can be, it appeals to the audience of two: the Fox viewing audience and Donald Trump.
Interestingly, he was on Meet the Press. But the underlying substance of the matter, Tom, you concerned at all that nobody has produced any evidence with respect to the allegations that are being parroted by the Democrats and the D.C. press corps?
Seems to me there's been no leaking, which is what everybody was beefing about. So now we're supposed to have leaks so we can talk about leaks. I have no idea.
Right. So there's no, but you understand there is no evidence that's been produced a year and a half in.
I have no idea if there's any evidence produced.
Well,
doesn't it matter to you, man?
Does it matter that Richard Burr and Trey Gowdy and the say no, and the Democrats are incapable of producing anything to substantiate a yes? Are you paying attention at all to that, or is it just your kind of vitriol at the direction of Trump, and you're forgetting what the underlying substance of the issue is? Is it concerning to you at all that you have a party trying to take down a president without any evidence to support any claim, any impeachable offense, much less criminal offense? Is that a concern?
It concerns me a lot. I'm old school, libertarian leanings. I'm no fan of the FBI, never have been. All of a sudden, the FBI used to be the big thing of the conservatives. Well, boy, that sure switched real fast when the President Trump got his pants on the hot seat. So, no, I haven't changed one bit. I say let it all air out and then clean it out. That's what I say, but I don't know. I'm not a lawyer. I'm not any inside, and none of us are.
Oh, I know. But thanks for the call, Tom. I understand that. But we have to go on, at this point, the pronouncements or lack thereof from parties that do have knowledge.
What is knowledge?
Knowledge isn't knowledge.
I tweeted out this big episode, me and you I put a picture of Diogenes holding a lantern. I wonder if, who got it. Okay?
Keep looking, Diogenes.
There's only one radio show in Chicago talking about today's biggest stories and telling you what they really mean. That show is this one, Chicago's Morning Answer on AM 560. The Answer.
I'm Lou Dobbs. Coffee prices down 17% this year, a guilty plea, and an immigration crackdown, and McDonald's grappling with another Chipotle-like outbreak. Those stories next.
I needed new blinds. I knew I could save a ton of money if I put them in myself, but I was nervous about measuring right and then installing them. That's why I went to Blinds.com. I'd heard their ads on the radio, how they're the #1 online retailer of custom window coverings. But I still had to install them. So I called in my design consultant, Carla. She talked me through it all, from picking the right blinds to installing them. Plus, the online design consultation was free. Samples were free. Shipping was free. My home looks perfect.
With over 20 years in business and over 20 million blinds sold, Blinds.com is the #1 online retailer of custom window coverings. Need some inspiration? Go to Blinds.com to see tons of customer photos. And right now, you save up to 35% plus. Take an additional 5% off site-wide when you use promo code SHUTTERS. That's 35% plus take an additional 5% off site-wide at Blinds.com. Blinds.com, promo code SHUTTERS. Rules and restrictions apply.
Your morning cup of coffee today costing less than a year ago. Futures traders betting on more declines in the price of coffee, already down 17% since January. Coffee prices nearing a 5-year low. In the aftermath of what's been called the biggest illegal immigration crackdown so far during the Trump administration, the owner of a Tennessee meatpacking plant pleading guilty to employing over 90 illegal immigrants. Plant owner James Brantley also pleading guilty to tax evasion and wire fraud. Another food disease outbreak, but not at Chipotle this time. The CDC saying an intestinal illness from salads at McDonald's hit nearly 500 people in 15 states. The blended lettuce was sold in about 3,000 McDonald's locations. Please join me for Lou Dobbs tonight, 7 and 11 Eastern on the Fox Business Network. This is the Lou Dobbs Financial Report.
Balance of Nature's fruits and veggies in a capsule.
I've got ankylosing spondylitis, which is a arthritic disease, calcification of the major joints and spine, and I just don't have the pain that I used to have. It's really kind of amazing. Balance of Nature has been an amazing product. I've recommended it to literally hundreds. I'm a pastor, and I've said, y'all just try it. Give it a month. Give it a try. And so hopefully they have. But it's an amazing product, and the neatest thing is when you first open up that bottle and you can smell the fruits and vegetables. Every time I open one, I just get a big kick out of that.
When you call, use discount code CHICAGO, and we'll take 35% off your first preferred set of fruits and veggies and have them shipped to you free. Call 800-246-8751. That's 1-800-246-8751, or go online to balanceofnature.com and use discount code CHICAGO.
Hi, it's Amy Jacobson.
And Joe Walsh from MyPillow.
You're hearing from both of us because we've got 2 great MyPillow deals to tell you about.
And of course, because I'm the resident expert on the great night's sleep you're going to get with a MyPillow.
Is that why you sleep till noon every day, Joe?
Nice shot. Part of the reason. The other is because I'm not on the radio until the afternoon.
Lucky you. Well, I've got to get up early to do Chicago's Morning Answer, and I'm not sure I would get proper rest without MyPillow.
Hey, and I sleep even better with MyPillow because I added the MyPillow mattress topper to my bed. You got to get one. And when you buy the MyPillow mattress topper and use promo code Joe, you'll score 2 standard MyPillows for free.
For me, I love the MyPillow Go Anywhere pillow. So convenient. I suggest you use the promo code Amy. Buy 1 MyPillow and you'll get a second MyPillow plus 2 Go Anywhere MyPillows free.
Hey, either way, you're going to sleep like you never have before with MyPillow.
But definitely use promo code Amy.
Nah. Promo code Joe is the way better choice.
MyPillow.com. Promo code Amy.
Promo code Joe is way better, way better.
Are you drowning in IRS tax debt?
I owe the IRS $37,000.
Get ready for a toll-free hotline. Take advantage of new IRS tax forgiveness programs that may protect you from IRS collection agencies. They have the power to garnish your wages, put liens on your property, and levy your bank account. Civic Tax Relief can help protect you from the IRS.
Civic Tax Relief basically represented me against the IRS, and by the time everything was completed, I didn't owe the IRS anything.
Find out about the Fresh Start program that is now available through Civic Tax Relief. Civic Tax Relief's special tax hotline can help you discover all the relief programs available for free.
I would recommend anyone who has a tax problem to contact Civic Tax Relief.
Just call 800-324-4522. 800-324-4522. Don't wait. Call now. 800-324-4522. 800-324-4522.
Seems like summer just got started, but it's not too soon to start thinking about the fall, at least when it comes to your child's education. Registration for fall enrollment for grades 7 through 12 is happening now at St. John's Northwestern Military Academy, providing young men and now women with an outstanding education and preparation for life. Since 1884, St. John's Northwestern Military Academy in the beautiful Lake County region of southeast Wisconsin has been developing the minds and shaping the character of young men from around the country and around the world. many of whom have gone on to achieve great success. And now, that same opportunity is available for young women. They prepare cadets for success in life by instilling a solid work ethic, an understanding of the value of integrity and teamwork, and the ability to think critically, communicate well, and function in a diverse and ever-changing world. To learn more about fall enrollment or to schedule a visit, call 1-800-SJ-CADET. That's 1-800-SJ-CADET, or visit their website, sjnma.org.
Being successful in business means overcoming enormous obstacles to serve your customers and community. AM 560, The Answer, wants to shine a spotlight on businesses that are thriving. We want to celebrate their success by finding out what makes these businesses unique, successful, and what we can learn from them. We want to know how you built it. Presented by Chicagoland Waterproofing. To tell us how you built it, go to 560theanswer.com/built. That's 560theanswer.com/BUILT. Sponsored by Signature Bank and Ozinga. What's happening? What does it mean? Why is it important? We've got the answer. AM 560, The Answer. WIND, Chicago.
President Trump says Robert Mueller's just looking for trouble. I'm Chris Foster, Fox News. The president tweets about White House counsel Don McGahn's 30 hours of interviews with a special counsel, that McGahn did it only with his approval for purposes of transparency. So far, the president hasn't gone so far as agreeing to an interview himself. Fox's John Decker's live at the White House.
Rudy Giuliani, President Trump's personal attorney, defended the president on NBC's Meet the Press and explained why he's opposed to letting special counsel Robert Mueller interview the president.
Look, I'm not going to be rushed into having him testify so that he gets trapped into perjury. And when you tell me that, he should testify because he's going to tell the truth and he shouldn't worry, well, that's so silly because it's somebody's version of the truth, not the truth.
President Trump has said he's willing to speak with Mueller's team, but his legal team has expressed opposition to that possibility because they believe the special counsel's investigators could take what the president says, if it differs from what others have laid out, as a lie. Chris?
John, federal prosecutors are reportedly finalizing their case against President Trump's former attorney, Michael Cohen, with bank fraud charges possible by the end of the month. The New York Times reports Cohen's under investigation for $20 million worth of fraudulently obtained loans for his taxi business in New York. Drastic economic measures in Venezuela.
Everyday necessities, including food, are in short supply. And now President Maduro is attempting to cure the inflation situation by devaluing the currency by a factor of 100,000. The latest salvo in what the president calls an economic war. On the streets, shoppers are predicting chaos as they try and work out the new money.
That's Sky News correspondent Dan Bowden. Police in Barcelona, Spain, shot and killed a man who pulled a knife on officers at a police station. It's being treated as a terrorist incident, although the motive is still under investigation. Fox News, fair and balanced.
Cloudy skies, 7:02 on AM 560. The Answer. Good morning. I'm Mike Scott. An investigation is underway following the death of two teenage boys found shot in a field on Chicago's far south side. 16-year-old Rayshawn Turner and 17-year-old Darnell Flowers were discovered last night near East 131st and South Roads. They had gunshot wounds to the bodies, and Chicago police tell us they were pronounced dead at the scene. Both teens had been reported missing. The violence part of a weekend in Chicago that saw at least 6 killed and 53 wounded. Beachgoers are being warned about dangerous waves on Lake Michigan today, and a beach hazard statement has been posted for Illinois and Indiana beaches. Meantime, 3 boys are dead after they were pulled from Lake Michigan in separate incidents over the weekend, one near Waukegan, 2 near Indiana Dunes State Park. The family of a 15-year-old boy is refuting claims by authorities that the teen committed suicide while running away from police on Chicago's west side.
I need to see evidence, body cams. They need to release the video. My nephew would never commit suicide ever.
Authorities say the teen shot himself in the head Friday night after he was briefly chased by officers. The trial of 2 men charged in the murder of Chicago teen Hydea Pendleton is set to resume later today. And Illinois Governor Bruce Rauner says he wants school kids in the state to learn about hard work, but he doesn't think local schools should be forced to teach a work ethic class. The governor yesterday vetoed a plan to require a work ethic curriculum beginning in the 6th grade. The news service of Applebee's back to school is a whole lot tastier when kids eat free at Applebee's. Monday through Thursday, now through August 30th, get one kids meal free with each adult entree. Dine-in only, valid for kids 12 and under ordering from the kids menu. Participating Applebee's locations only. Applebee's makes back to school taste better. 7:04 and a check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
Sean Hannity, The Sean Hannity Show.
I love the fact we can now say American made, American jobs, American manufacturing, American products, made in America. Well, Hannity, that is very myopic of you. I'm not going to ever apologize for wanting the people in this country to have the most opportunity first.
The Sean Hannity Show. Afternoons at 2, right before Joe Walsh at 5 on AM 560. The Answer.
It's the Ford Summer Sales Event. And now, while selection is best, it's the best time to buy. With amazing offers across a full lineup of Ford vehicles, now is the time to make summer go right with Ford, America's best-selling brand. Stop by a local Ford store or shop online at buyfordnow.com, because there is no better time than right now to get behind the wheel of a new Ford during the Ford Summer Sales Event. The Ford Summer Sales Event is here. Right now, get 0% APR financing for 60 months plus $1,000 bonus cash on the 2018 EcoSport. Best-selling claim based on 2017 calendar year sales. Not all buyers will qualify for Ford credit financing. 60 months at $1,667 per month for $1,000 finance regardless of down payment. For all offers, take new retail delivery from an authorized Ford dealer stock by 8/31/18. See dealer or go to buyfordnow.com for qualifications and details.
How much do you spend on your pest control each year? $200, $300, or even $500 or more? What if I said you could spend less than $25 a year, even less with promo code RADIO20? Then listen up. G'day, I'm Scott from Plug-in Pest Free, and yes, it is possible to rid your home or business of unwanted pests for less than $25 per year. The answer is Plug-in Pest Free. Our best seller, the Plug-in Pest Free Pro, will cover up to 4,000 square feet. Now that's fair dinkum. For just a one-time cost of only $249, even less with promo code RADIO20, you'll be pest-free for years to come. Log on to gopestfree.com today. Use promo code RADIO20 and start driving those pests away. Don't spray and regret. Plug in and forget. Gopestfree.com. That's gopestfree.com, promo code RADIO20.
7:07 on AM 560. It is time for a dry basement and a healthy home. Time to call Permaseal, 800-421-SEAL. And a check on the roads in the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center. Here's Jim.
Thanks, Mike. The northbound tri-state is really jammed this morning from Roosevelt to Lawrence. The Adams and Reagan tollways are fine. Northbound Veterans Memorial, though, heavy early from the Mountain Toll to the Reagan Tollway. And southbound 53 has significant roadwork delays from Kirchhoff to Higgins. Eastbound Eden Spur is heavy from the tri-state to Waukegan Road. And the Hedens itself, 22 minutes either way between Lake Cook and Montrose. Kennedy inbound delays start at Cumberland. 42 minutes O'Hare to downtown, 25 from Montrose, 24 in the Express. Outbound 19 minutes to Montrose, 49 to the airport. Westbound 190 is heavy as well. Inbound Eisenhower, 42 minutes, 390 to downtown. It's 28 from Manheim, outbound 43 minutes to 390. Stevenson, 45 minutes, 355 to Lakeshore Drive, outbound 38. Ryan, 25 minutes, 95th to downtown. I-57 is pretty light. Bishop Ford, just a 3-minute delay approaching the Verge. Northwest Indiana's clear. Traffic answers when you need them most. I'm Jim Talamonte on AM 560, The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer continues next. Your official Chicagoland weather forecast from the 1 Hour Heating and Air Conditioning Weather Center with meteorologist Kevin Snyder.
Today, cloudy and humid with showers and thunderstorms, some heavy for the afternoon. High 79. Cloudy and humid through the night tonight with a couple of evening showers and a heavy thunderstorm. Pull away passing late night shower, low 69. I'm Kevin Snyder on AM 560, The Answer.
71 at O'Hare. Next news, 7:30. Chicago's Morning Answer continues next on AM 560. The Answer.
This hourly segment is brought to you by Advanced Planning Advisors, bringing you Smart Money Talk with Mike Moylan and Rob Curvin, Saturday mornings at 6.
This is Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan Proft and Amy Jacobson on AM 560. The Answer.
Good morning, Dan. And in for Amy J this morning is Chicago Tribune legend John Kass. John, silencing conservatives on social media. Is this a issue that is the proper province of Congress? Should this face a congressional inquiry? Because there's some talk of, by one House committee, the House Energy and Commerce Committee, of subpoenaing Twitter CEO Jack Dorsey for amid allegations that he shadow bans conservatives.
He's a lefty. His people are the people that he hires are lefties.
He fully admits, John, that his employees at Twitter lean left.
Yeah.
Lean.
Right.
Just a little bit of.
Right. Lean. That's what I do when I'm eating a peach from Calhoun County or a beef sandwich. You know, you lean.
Yeah, just a lean.
But I lean forward. I don't lean to the left or right.
President Trump tweeting about this over the weekend. Social media is totally discriminating against Republican conservative voices. Speaking loudly and clearly for the Trump administration, we won't let that happen.
Well, so what? You're going to do an executive order demanding more conservatives?
Too many voices are being destroyed, some good and some bad, and that cannot be allowed to happen, he continued. Censorship is a very dangerous thing and absolutely impossible to police.
Then why? How can you do anything? What's truth? What is truth?
Okay, Rudy.
No?
Well,
what?
But here's the thing, and John Hendrick over at Powerline blog had a good write-up on this over the weekend as well, and he points out what we've discussed on this show, what's happened to our colleague Dennis Prager, who's one of the great intellectuals of our time. Serious person, Prager University videos, popular, well-produced, thoughtful. It's not conspiracy theories. It's not hate speech.
The war against boys.
We're talking about Dennis Prager, for goodness sakes.
Yeah, cigar.
And
he likes to talk about happiness on Friday.
Well, that's right, and relationships and the rest. Prager, but, PragerU is suing YouTube for downgrading Prager University's videos, even though they're popular and YouTube makes money when people watch them. And when that happened, when Prager University sued Google, parent company of YouTube, Facebook has subsequently shadow banned Prager University into complete silence to its more than 3 million followers, according to internal Facebook analytics. Our last 9 posts have been completely censored, reaching 0 of our 3 million followers, said one media personality with Prager University.
Are they doing that to everybody?
Well, this is the point. They're not. This is a first for us, said Prager University Chief Marketing Officer. While we've experienced blatant discrimination from Google YouTube, which is why we filed legal action against them, this represents a whole new level of censorship by Facebook. At this point, Facebook has provided little clarity in saying it will get back to us in another 2 to 3 business days, which in the world of social media might as well be an eternity.
So far, you're talking only about allegations. I don't see any. Where's the proof that they were shut down by Facebook?
Well, by the analytics tell you that the videos didn't reach any of your followers. We also, remember when Zuckerberg was before Congress and he got peppered about essentially banning Diamond and Silk.
Yeah.
And then, we're going to talk to Diamond and Silk, and we've talked to Diamond and Silk, and they really haven't gotten satisfaction with Facebook. So,
does the federal government regulate social media?
Well, here's the thing. And Hinricker makes this point, when you have simultaneous bans and suspensions across platforms, as happened to Prager University, or even Alex Jones, the phrase, writes Hinricker, combination or conspiracy and restraint of trade comes to mind. It may not be the law that I would promote in my kind of free minds, free markets utopia, but there are federal trade regulations regarding commerce. So there's an issue, or there could be
It's arguable. Hindraker writes, and I think this is a good topic to think about, the proper solution may lie in creating competitive platforms. Of course, conservatives need to start...
Conservative platform?
Well, conservatives need to start building their own infrastructure, build a good product. This is what we'll talk to Andrew Klavan at the top of the 8 o'clock hour, but we talk about this all the time. Write a good story, produce a good movie, and it just happens to be that it was done by conservatives rather than liberals.
Yeah.
You can't always complain about the left building infrastructure that if you had the talent, you could build. Conservatives there's talented conservatives out there.
They invest in it.
Well, no kidding. But he makes the point that has been argued, should these social media giants be considered public utilities? Federal Express doesn't refuse to deliver packages to National Review on the ground that they maintain conservative communications. Telephone companies haven't tried to cut off connections when two conservatives are talking. Why should Facebook, Twitter, YouTube be permitted to engage in political discrimination? 312-642-5600, turnkey.pro answer line, 64636DA, turnkey.pro text line. Should they?
Well, shouldn't they be able to discriminate against some loser like Alex Jones? Like a phone, I've heard on this show, right? His lawyer saying, "Oh, that stuff is an act," right? I've heard you talk about it.
Yeah.
He's a phony. So shouldn't they be able to shut down a hater like that?
Take your calls, but now for more on this topic, we're pleased to be joined by presidential historian, author of Game of Thorns, the inside story of Hillary Clinton's failed campaign and Donald Trump's winning strategy. Doug Weed has written about this shadow banning of conservatives and censoring pro-Trump content. Doug, thanks for joining us again. Appreciate it.
Hey, you're welcome. Good to join you guys.
So what is your perspective on the evidence presented with respect to Prager University and others? Is the president right to suggest congressional inquiry, if not action?
Short answer is I don't know, but listening to you fellows talk, I was reminded of in the 1950s with the advent of network television, Dwight Eisenhower was very, very concerned. He spoke with James Haggerty, his press secretary. He said there's no way the founding fathers could have envisioned the power that network television would represent. And Haggerty said, hey, these are great men of integrity, Sarnoff, Paley, I know these men personally. And Eisenhower was very dubious. And they worked out some kind of agreement, which was that when Eisenhower needed the airwaves, they would absolutely give him, and the government would take the airwaves. And in return, the networks could have some independence, but they were limited on the number of channels they could own. And so the FCC evolved and all of that. So I see that with Internet right now. This is an unusual moment. I don't know that it's going to be resolved by supply and demand.
Can the government impose its will on a private company that's on the Internet? They might hate conservatives. Guess what? I'm a conservative. I know I'm being hated. I mean, it's not something surprising to me, but can the government do that? I don't think it can.
What I'm seeing with this current issue is how it's affecting the little guy. Since my article was published in the Federalist, I've received just dozens of emails and phone calls from people who claim that their businesses were shut down, that they'd say something on Twitter, suddenly they'd find their Facebook shadow ban their business. And the same with Amazon. All of them have the same stories, though they don't know each other. They're in denial for a year or two, can't believe it's real, face the metrics and say it's got to be real. Look at these numbers. And one of them said to me, I got a new identity, I got new bank accounts, I got new IP address, I'm up and running, I'm making money again, but I'm never going to talk on one of those social media platforms again because I can't afford to lose my business.
Well, I mean, so I'm on the board of a crisis pregnancy center in Chicago called Aid for Women, the advisory board, actually. And we've got an upcoming event with Mike Huckabee, like an annual gala dinner. It's a crisis pregnancy center, nonprofit. They help women in crisis with their pregnancy, housing, clothing, the like. Right. Crisis pregnancy center. The ad for the dinner featuring Mike Huckabee rejected by Facebook. Because why? Probably because it has pro-life in there, or because it has Crisis Pregnancy Center, or because it doesn't have Planned Parenthood. I don't know. But so, I appreciate what you're saying, Doug, in terms of the feedback you're getting about how this happens to the little guy, not just big guys that can at least respond at some level like Prager can and is. And so, so this is the debate that we need to have. There's one sort of sense among conservatives. Obviously, censorship is with respect to the government, not with respect to private enterprise, generally speaking. But there are laws with respect to, as Hindraker made the point, with respect to commerce. And perhaps if you can't encourage them to be more open-minded about the content that they allow to flow through their channels, then you look at the law as it exists that the left would use against businesses with respect to improper restraint of trade and other violations of business policy, federal regulations on business, and you apply them to these big social media giants.
People on the left, too, are getting caught up in this, which is fascinating. I had an email from someone who said that they posted something that was anti-Trump, but they were using sarcasm, and they think the Google bots or the people from the Southern Poverty Law Center or whoever misunderstood or were operating too quickly, and they got shadow banned, even though what they were saying was anti-Trump. I guess sometimes the Internet can't discern sarcasm or irony, and they can get caught up in it. It's just reaching, in my opinion, preposterous proportions. My argument was over a video with Trish Regan and myself on Fox News, and I finally got through to some people at Google. They spent 2 or 3 days talking to me, calling back. They couldn't figure out why it was banned, and then they finally got the right person, and they explained, it's nothing you said, and it's nothing that Trish Regan said. It's the crawler along the bottom of the screen, and they were the words of Donald Trump referring to this Russian thing as a witch hunt. That was the reason that it was being opposed.
Who told you this, sir?
A spokesperson at Google.
Now, we're speaking to Doug Weed. His story in the Federalist recently is these screenshots show how Google shadow bans conservatives and pro-Trump content. As a historian, where do you see this going? When does it build to some sort of critical mass where it has a real political impact on the other side?
Yeah, I don't really, John. I don't really know. I think it's gone pretty far already. I traveled back and forth to Russia, and I noticed the evolution of Putin's strength when he became more strong. I noticed they had complete freedom. They could talk about anything, but once Putin's strength showed itself, they wouldn't talk about him. They just wouldn't talk about him publicly in a restaurant, anywhere. They just wouldn't say anything that anybody else can repeat. And now I'm seeing that among business people who use e-commerce. They can think whatever they want to think, but they're not going to say it out loud. Someone can overhear it. They could post it on Facebook or somewhere and shut their business down.
You're describing, Mr. Reed, you're describing Rat Cage on the Face, Room 101.
It's not big government. It's big social media. Right. Yeah.
But big corporate and big government are twins, right? They're brothers.
Well, that's the whole. That was the whole appeal to Trump. Many people were concerned with both the Republicans and the Democrats. We had 16 years of the poor getting poor and the rich getting richer, not because the poor were stupid, but because the rich were getting interest-free money from the Federal Reserve, sometimes directly, sometimes indirectly. Big companies would get the Obama stimulus plan and not have to enforce environmental regulations. Another company would have to enforce those regulations. And people just got tired of the legalized corruption. And that was the appeal of Trump. This is a guy that they didn't want us to vote for, and that's exactly who a lot of people said, okay, that's who I'm going to vote for.
So they do it through the hip social media outlets rather than the stodgy, discredited government. He is Doug Weed, presidential historian, author of Game of Thorns, the inside story of Hillary Clinton's failed campaign and Donald Trump's winning strategy. His column in The Federalist, John Cash just mentioned, these screenshots show how Google shadow bans conservative and pro-Trump content. This is a topic that's not going away. Doug, thanks so much for joining us. Appreciate it.
Thanks for having me, gentlemen.
And he joined us on the Turnkey.pro answer line.
Connect with Dan and Amy on the AM 560 The Answer mobile app. Just text the word app to 64636 to download the app today.
Raj Shah, host of Secure Retirement Radio.
Safety is what I preach as far as from an investment philosophy to protect your money. However, putting your money in CDs is not the only way to get safety. The whole problem is that people are not aware of what other options are available to create that safety net for your 401k or your IRAs.
Tune in for Secure Retirement Radio with Raj Shah, Sunday mornings at 7 here on AM 560 The Answer.
Balance of Nature's fruits and veggies in a capsule.
My husband's blood pressure has dropped 30 points. I've lost 8 pounds. He's lost about 20 pounds. His arthritis is gone. You guys have given me back my husband. I'd come home from work, and if he beat me home from work, he would be laying in the recliner, and I would feed him supper in his recliner and would be like really boring, pathetic old people watching TV while we ate dinner and then go to bed exhausted and wake up tired. I came home from work last night, and he was mowing the lawn. It's amazing. It's amazing. It's so amazing.
When you call, use discount code CHICAGO, and we'll take 35% off your first preferred set of fruits and veggies and have them shipped to you free. Call 800-246-8751. That's 1-800-246-8751, or go online to balanceofnature.com and use discount code CHICAGO.
It either is or it isn't. When it comes down to it, that's all that really matters when choosing a certified pre-owned Mercedes-Benz. It's either certified by Mercedes-Benz factory-trained technicians or it isn't. It's either backed by an unlimited mileage warranty for up to 5 years or it isn't. It's absolute confidence in 30,000 precision parts or it isn't. The Mercedes-Benz Certified Pre-Owned Sales Event, now through August 31st, only at your authorized Mercedes-Benz dealer. Come in today and take advantage of first month's payment credit and special financing offers available through Mercedes-Benz Financial Services. There are those who settle for nothing less. For them, the choice is simple. It's either up to Mercedes-Benz standards or it isn't. It's flawlessly maintained or it isn't. It's either Mercedes-Benz Certified Pre-Owned or it isn't.
See your authorized Mercedes-Benz dealer for complete details and limitations on first month's payment credit and certified pre-owned warranties.
Building owners and managers. Now is the perfect time of year for a service and maintenance agreement with Waukegan Roofing. Since 1914, Waukegan Roofing has been installing and maintaining roofs you can rely on for all of Chicagoland. Our experienced team of professional service technicians is the right solution for preserving the integrity of your new or existing roofing system for years to come. With your dedicated service technician and our multi-point inspection program, we cover all areas of your roof from early detection to preventative maintenance to repairs and everything in between. We're the licensed commercial roofing contractor you can rely on for all your roofing needs. Building owners and managers, now is the time to prepare your low-slope commercial roof for everything that Mother Nature throws at it this year. Call Waukegan Roofing today for your service and maintenance appointment at 877-ROOF-201. That's 877-ROOF-201. Or visit us online at waukeganroofing.com. Waukegan Roofing, installing roofs you can rely on since 1914.
Illinois licensee 104000761.
This story is called The Ugly Truth About Timeshare. If you think you've done your family a favor by buying a timeshare, you need my help. Hello, I'm Chuck McDowell, CEO and founder of Wesley Financial Group. 10 years ago, I started helping folks cancel their timeshare contracts, and in the process started what's now called the timeshare cancellation industry. Timeshare is the only thing that you can buy that you can't tell me how much it's going to cost or when it's going to end. When you buy a timeshare, you give them a blank check to fill out any amount they want for annual maintenance and assessment fees. Sound crazy? The crazy thing is, this never ends. Even when you die, your family's now going to be stuck with this burden. Stop the insanity today. Call my office now. I guarantee if we can't cancel your timeshare contract, you'll pay nothing.
Call for your free information kit, 800-786-9300. That's 800-786-9300. 800-786-9300.
AM 560, The Answer.
Dan and John Cass in for Amy J this morning. We'll pick up our conversation about social media silencing conservatives after the news. Take your calls. 312-642-5600, turnkey.pro, answer line 646-36DA, turnkey.pro, text line. But John, my favorite setup here, a Saudi and a liberal New York City woman walk into a restaurant. You know what happened?
Tell me.
You ready? This comes to us from Tyler Cohen at Marginal Revolution. This is sort of cute. The woman says to the table of Saudi nationals, so where are y'all from? Saudi man, Saudi Arabia. Is that your wife in there? Yes. Is she driving yet? The woman asks him. No. New York City woman. Why not? She doesn't need to. I was just wondering because they made such a big deal out of it on TV, and I was thinking maybe they aren't all driving yet. She does not need to, he repeats. But why not? Madam, you live in New York City. Are you driving yet? Not bad. Pretty good. Yeah. Pretty fun. All right, check the headlines with Mike Scott.
Gray skies, 73 degrees, and some powerful storms on the way at 7:30. Good morning, I'm Mike Scott. Two are dead after an early morning shooting. It happened at a Texas food distribution plant near Houston in the town of Missouri City. Former Joint Chief of Staff Chairman Admiral Mike Mullen says President Trump is making a list of enemies. Speaking on Fox News Sunday, Mullen says he does believe the president has the authority to pull a security clearance from former CIA Director John Brennan. However, doing so may be problematic.
Well, I mean, one of the things for somebody of my age, it immediately brings back the whole concept of the enemies list for, under President Nixon.
Mullen didn't say he is not happy with Brennan being outspoken on cable news. One of the first women to call out Harvey Weinstein for sexual assault is now facing her own major accusation. New York Times says the Italian actress and director Asia Argento last year agreed to pay $380,000 to actor Jimmy Bennett. Bennett claimed Argento assaulted him when he was 17 and she was 37. A fire that has charred nearly 100,000 acres in and around Yosemite National Park is now fully contained. The jury in the bank and tax fraud case against President Trump's former campaign chief Paul Manafort continues deliberations later today. An investigation continues following the death of two teenage boys found shot in a field on Chicago's South Side. 3 are dead after they were pulled from Lake Michigan in separate incidents over the weekend, 1 near Waukegan and 2 near the Indiana Dunes State Park. The trial of 2 men charged with the murder of Chicago teen Hydea Pendleton is set to resume today. Authorities have identified the man shot and killed by a bicyclist in the Uptown neighborhood. Police say Dennis Thomas Jr. was sitting in a vehicle yesterday morning when someone pulled up on a bicycle and shot him several times. Chicago sports, Adam Frazier, the game-winning home run in the bottom of the 11th. Pirates beat the Cubs 2-1 yesterday at PNC Park. White Sox rally from an early 6-0 deficit to edge the Royals 7-6. Sox face the Twins tonight in a makeup game at Target Field, while the Northsiders are off today before beginning a 2-game set with the Tigers. The news service of Geico Chicagoland. Hey Chicago, Geico now has even more ways to help save you money. Kevin, your local Geico agent, is ready to deliver the personal service you need with the savings you love. Stop by his local office on Cicero Avenue or call 773-582-8888. For Kevin, your local Geico agent. 7:33 is our time. We'll have a check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
I am a Trump supporter.
The Joe Walsh Show.
Now, I am a Trump supporter who will freely criticize the president when I think he's done wrong. And done wrong can be sending out a stupid tweet, raising taxes, or supporting amnesty. Can be anything. It's the issues to me. And when President Trump does something that does not advance those issues, I'll call him out on it.
The Joe Walsh Show, weeknights starting at 5, right after Sean Hannity at 2 on AM 560. The Answer.
Progressive Insurance, comparing rates to help you save. Call or click today and find out how much Progressive could save you.
Hi, I'm Tom Sedeka, President and CEO of Precision Payroll of America. We're the 35-year-old company whose first employee and first client are still working together. Without further ado.
Hi, I'm Patty Fritz, Precision Payroll's first employee. Yes, I'm real. I love working with my team and our clients and providing the best service and support. Hard to believe it's been that long. But when you love what you do, it's great. And I do love what we do at Precision Payroll. I didn't start for myself either.
That's right, Patty. I was there day one, and I'm still working with you today. Hi, I'm Jack Bishop, owner of Priority Logistics in Elk Grove, and Precision Payroll's first client. Yes, I'm real too. Precision Payroll has served us exceptionally for 35 years. We've grown together over the years, and I look forward to many more to come.
Jack and Patty, thank you both for making Precision Payroll of America a great company to do business with. To join our growing ranks of clients, visit us at precisionpayroll.com.
7:35. Let's get an update on the roads in the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center. And here is Jim Talamonte.
Thanks, Mike. The northbound Tri-State's really jammed this morning in the stretch between Roosevelt Road and Lawrence Avenue. The southbound delays from the Adams Tollway to Irving Park. Adams Tollway eastbound, a little heavy approaching 53. The Reagan Tollway's fine. Northbound Veterans Memorial stop and go. The Boughton Toll most of the way to North Avenue. Southbound 53 has construction delays from Rand Road to Higgins. Eden's 21 minutes, Lake Cook to Montrose, outbound 23. Kennedy, 44 minutes, O'Hare to downtown. Outbound 47. Inbound Eisenhower. Running just 40 minutes, 390 to downtown, 25 from Manheim. Outbound it's 39 minutes to 390. Stevenson, 46 minutes, 355 to Lakeshore Drive. Outbound 38. Ryan, 24 minutes, 95th to downtown. Traffic, service of E-Verify. Choose E-Verify, the enhanced employment eligibility verification tool that can confidently confirm work eligibility. They've got a new look, and the process has never been better. Check it out and get started at everify.gov/go. Traffic answers when you need them most. I'm Jim Talamonte on AM 560, The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer continues next. Your official Chicagoland weather forecast from the 1-hour Heating and Air Conditioning Weather Center. Cloudy, not as warm. Heavy thunderstorms expected to roll through the area this afternoon in a high of 79. Currently 73. Next news coming up at 8. Chicago's Morning Answer continues next on AM 560, The Answer.
This hourly segment is sponsored by the Townstone Financial Show, Saturday afternoons at 1. Nobody values your mortgage business like Townstone. Listen and call for the best advice.
Hey, Joe Walsh here. We are about 8 or 9 years into the Third American Revolution. I'm going to explain that again when freedom returns at 5.
Good morning, Dan and John Cass in for Amy J. And we were having this conversation with Doug Weed, presidential historian, about social media silencing conservative content and voices. And it's one thing to talk about Alex Jones being bounced. It's another thing to talk about Dennis Prager. Or is it? Should we be concerned at all about Twitter, Facebook, Google, YouTube making decisions to, as Doug Weed was explaining, even ban Doug Weed's interview on Fox Business with Trish Regan because there was a Trump witch hunt on the Chiron scroll below his interview, banning any presidential utterances.
Why aren't people of the left like all of Sue Young's comments shadow banned?
Oh, John, John from New York Times.
Yeah, like I hate white men suck.
Because that's acceptable hate speech.
Right?
But the question is, so acceptable hate speech, right, from those of the left, the identity politics obsessed left, that communicate in vile terms. Is it Twitter's or Facebook, Google's prerogative to allow what they want to allow and not allow what they don't want to allow? and if it's political affiliation, that's the determinative characteristic, then so be it. Or if it's political content, that's the determinative, then so be it. We're not talking about government censorship here. We're talking about, private content decisions through privately owned channels.
But there is pressure, and you start putting that kind of pressure on the body politic along with 300 editorials in lockstep for something, for whatever. But in this case, it was against Trump.
Well, John,
you get a sense that there's no. They're almost driving people to support Trump.
312-642-5600, turnkey.pro, answer line. 64636DA, turnkey.pro, text line. Do you want to force the social media giants to treat conservatives and conservative content the same as leftists and leftist content, or is it their call? Real simple. Or is it? John Hindraker, writing in Powerline blog, makes the point that perhaps these social media platforms fit the definition of a public utility. He writes, Federal Express doesn't refuse to deliver packages to National Review's office on the grounds they may contain conservative communications. Telephone companies haven't tried to cut off connections when two conservatives are talking. Why should Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube be permitted to engage in political discrimination? The problem with his argument is Federal Express could refuse to deliver packages to National Review if they wanted to. And so could the telephone company cut off conversations with conservatives or not provide them telephone service if they wanted to, arguably.
And I'm not going to bake anybody a cake that I don't want to. Bake it for him.
Okay, Jack Phillips, that's a bridge too far. Or is it?
Peach.
It's not a bridge too
Peach
far.
cake.
But this is the interesting thing. So Jack Phillips wins that Supreme Court case. We talked about it.
Mm-hmm.
And now he's back in court because they sent another or maybe it was of this person's own volition, but it was a way to force him to choose between his faith and his business, which
all
of course
of this is part of part of a whole. It's like I don't know how a pressure cooker works, Dan, but I think it works with pressure and heat. And after a while, something has to go. Something starts, you have to have a valve that lets it go. And I just see all this stuff, what you're talking about with the social media, with all that, with the government, with the news media, the so-called mainstream media, 300 editorials. We're going to act independently by writing 300 editorials that say the same thing.
Yes.
All that is just pushing people.
Right. Well, so you don't have to use Google. You can use DuckDuckGo as your search engine, right? I mean, why not? Conservatives should stop bitching and build their own castles, build their own infrastructure. What about that argument? Taking your calls, 312-642-5600, turnkey.pro, answer line, 64636DA, turnkey.pro, text line. Rick in Joliet, you're on Chicago's Morning Answer.
Yeah, good morning, guys. How are you? Dan, you stole my thunder a little bit, but I've been thinking about this for a while. I mean, I think this presents an opportunity for somebody or for a group of people to provide the same type of service, maybe not social media. I don't know about replication of Facebook, but certainly YouTube for hosting not necessarily even conservative videos, but a conservative content-friendly environment where if you have a video about how to clean your boat that's on YouTube, you can put that on the conservative one as well, or at least the one that's tolerant of conservative views.
Yeah, okay.
Then they'll know how to
find
us. Make it easier for them to find us, man.
Well, I mean, think about college campuses. I mean, you have college campuses that routinely censor or freeze out conservative voices to the benefit of the left, both their faculty as well as those they invite and even pay to speak on campus. You can't even listen to
Jordan Peterson without people getting upset, right?
So should we regulate college campuses as well? At least generally speaking, they're the recipients or beneficiaries of tax dollars through grants, through student loan financing.
They're the places of safe spaces.
But Twitter, Google, Facebook, private companies. How do we reconcile this? It's an interesting topic, I think, which is why we're talking about it. Jeff in Berwyn, you're on Chicago's Morning Answer.
Greetings, Dan and John.
Hello.
John, I love it when you sub for Amy. You're great.
Thanks,
you kind of stole my thunder here because I was going to bring up the obvious double standard of these social platforms have the right, because they're, quote, private companies, but they're not. They're publicly traded, to censor anybody they want for whatever reason. But a wedding cake baker in Colorado or Oregon gets sued because he doesn't want to deal with those people. Now, I don't know. I'm not a lawyer and I don't play one on TV, but I think the 1964 Civil Rights Act has a public accommodations clause that, yes, if you own a restaurant or whatever, but you have to serve people under some category. All right, well, doesn't that apply to Facebook and Twitless? I mean, I know this is kind of rhetorical, so help me out here. I mean, if you guys can expand what you were just talking about before you took my call.
Politically,
thanks for the call,
politically,
Jeff.
Once the American people realized that it was fundamentally regardless of law, once people realized it was un-American, it was against our understanding of being American.
Right.
To deny someone a seat on the lunch counter, civil rights was done. That was it. This one, I don't know. We're so fragmented. And everyone's going to social media. All the columnists are. Some of them say things on Twitter that about the left or the right that I would never say about the left. I mean, stuff that I can't believe is allowed, but they do.
Well,
vulgar things.
It's interesting. It's worth noting because remember we've spoken to a representative from PragerU about their lawsuit against Google/YouTube, and they're really making a contract. It's really a contract claim. It's essentially Google, YouTube are violating the terms of their service, and so it's a contract claim. So it's not really a First Amendment claim. It's a contract case and a commercial claim. But the question is, should it become a sort of a civil rights issue, if you will?
The first column I write every week is the national column. I'm going to go Google all this. May I Google it? The PragerU stories.
I prefer you use DuckDuckGo.
Whatever. And what will I find? Has the media been covering it or shying away, leaving it to be sort of like a fringe thing?
Bob and Lyle, you're on Chicago's Morning Answer.
Hey, hi, Dan and John. I feel like everybody's late to the party here. My feeling is that in the United States of America, this happened probably within the last 20 years, maybe even before, that there's such a great censorship, it's all political, that you can't get your point of view across if you're not in the same or you don't subscribe to the same thing. And it's the same thing in Europe. They have what they call liberal socialism. There's a monopoly on everything, plus there's hate speech and everything else. So I think that it does tie into the First Amendment to some degree of what you can say and what you can't say. And it even gets down to education, what you can teach in schools. And on the religious end, it's the worst. You have no rights at all to say anything anymore on any subject.
Well, thanks for the call, Bob. But do you want the government to intervene here? I mean, when the left tried to use the government to intervene in talk radio, right, equal time, because conservatives dominate talk radio, should the left, should we concede equal time in exchange for equal time on social media? Do you want to play that game? I don't. I mean, again, because they don't believe in a free marketplace of ideas means that we shouldn't either. We're not them. We should guard the fact that we're not jealously, rather than employ their same approach, use that same cudgel of government, shouldn't we?
Well said.
George in Schaumburg.
Hey, yeah, so I think it's more of a bigger issue with the passing of repealing the net neutrality a couple months back. What happens when it goes to the internet service providers? I mean, it's bigger than YouTube, bigger than Google. What happens when they prioritize our searches? And let's say you're looking for PragerU or Walsh Freedom, and they put that on the 5th page of the Google search. We voted for that. We didn't vote for that, but that's what happened. And it's a bigger issue than limiting Google, making a new YouTube. It's a controlling over the marketplace in general because we agreed that it's private pipelines that we're subscribing to.
Yeah. Okay. Thanks for the call, George. It's a fair point.
So they could diminish conservative views. You mean, are you telling me that I really should have like millions of followers? Is that what you're saying? I'm victim? How do you know? How can you tell if you're a victim of it?
You can, I'm not a tech guru in this space, but the way that, for example, Prague University figured it out is they looked at their analytics, and they just looked, and you can see that your content is not being able to be seen by your followers, by your community. So that's obviously a Facebook thing, and then you contact the provider, and the provider essentially concedes the point, and then you're arguing about how it should be remedied.
In the news business, you have a television station or you have a newspaper, but you also have stuff online, right?
Yeah.
And I would wonder, the old models were the publisher and the editor were deciding who was, what news was up and what was in the back of the book. Now, you have all this. You have IT people and
algorithms,
people,
and then the
algorithms
checkers,
and people who push it. On the Tribune.com site, for example. And you have to wonder. I'm not singling out my paper, but all of them. What would Jennifer Rubin, another Trump voters are stupid. You suck, Trump voters, from the Washington Post. Is that get pushed up over something else? There's a lot here. There's a lot to unpack here, but the principles are the thing.
Right. And so
the principle is we don't use the hammer of government to win the argument. Correct?
Well, this is where that position runs into the reality on the ground, and this is why it's an interesting topic, because some are willing to sort of recast these enterprises for the purposes of achieving their outcome, and that just becomes a dangerous game. There are implications for that sort of precedent-setting behavior, and that's why these things need to be thought through and talked through, in the free marketplace of ideas that exists at AM 560, not on Twitter and Facebook and YouTube.
You're listening to Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan Proft and Amy Jacobson on AM 560. The Answer.
Oh, it's weather, eh? Okay, here we go. Sorry. Yeah, there's weather out there. Stick your head out. Look, it's weather. Mostly cloudy and not as warm.
The weather didn't pull that trigger, John.
Yeah, you're right. Mostly cloudy and not as warm. Heavy thunderstorms this afternoon, high of 79. Cloudy and humid. Showers and a heavier thunderstorm early tonight. Then a shower. A lot of showers. Take your soak. Enjoy the traffic with Jim Telemonte.
Thank you, John. Thank you, Dan. We have plenty of traffic. Southbound Tri-State heavy O'Plain to Bradley. And from the Adams Tollway to Irving Park, northbound really heavy. The Mylong Bridge to 47th and Roosevelt to Lawrence. Northbound Veterans Memorial delays. From I-55 most of the way to North Avenue. Southbound 53 has the construction slowdowns from Rand to Higgins. Eden's 19 minutes, Lake Cook to Montrose, but outbound 30. Kennedy, 45 minutes, O'Hare to downtown. Quicker in the express by about 2 or 3 minutes. Outbound 47 minutes to O'Hare. Traffic's heavy going in and out of the airport. Eisenhower, 42 minutes, 390 to downtown. Outbound 39. Stevenson, 42 minutes, 355 for the drive. Outbound 41. The Rhine is 24 minutes, 95th to downtown. I'm Jim Talamonte in the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center.
This is Dan Proft with 60 Seconds of Sanity for Upstream-Ideas.com. Here's 1 week's worth of leftist intellectual offerings. Former CIA Director John Brennan, whose value as an intel officer closely rivals Chuck Barris's value as a CIA assassin, argued the revocation of his ability to leak classified information was some sort of unconstitutional abridgment of his free speech rights. Brennan was barking on MSNBC and opining in the New York Times that he is being silenced. Elizabeth Warren proposed to save capitalism by nationalizing private property. 350 newspapers colluded to publish the same anti-Trump ransom letter to their readers to prove what well-adjusted, independent-minded journalists they are. New York Governor Andy Cuomo announced that America will be great for the first time if and only if he's either elected president or bumps his brother Chris in CNN's primetime lineup. And of all the cake shops in all the world, a trans person walked into Masterpiece Cake Shop in Lakewood, Colorado, because, SCOTUS ruling notwithstanding, the left and their government commissars will make Jack Phillips and every other Christian in America they can target choose between faith and business. The left is impervious to irony, unbounded by hypocrisy, undaunted by legal restraint, unyielding in their quest for dominion over every aspect of your life, and that's just in the last week.
The following is a paid political announcement.
More than 1 million illegal immigrants have been apprehended in the U.S. in just the last 3 years. That's more than the population of Indianapolis. We must secure our borders. And where's Senator Joe Donnelly? He already broke a promise to Hoosiers when he voted to grant amnesty to millions of illegal immigrants. And he's waffled on President Trump's border wall, supporting a liberal bill with no wall funding. Now, Massachusetts Senator Elizabeth Warren and Vermont Socialist Bernie Sanders are pushing to abolish immigration and customs enforcement.
ICE! Shut down ICE!
So call Senator Joe Donnelly at 202-224-4814. Urge him to listen to Hoosiers. Tell him to fully secure America's border. Support full border security funding in S3109, the Department of Homeland Security Appropriations Act 2019. Paid for by One Nation. www.onenationamerica.org.
Balance of Nature's fruits and veggies in a capsule.
I've got ankylosing spondylitis, which is a arthritic disease, calcification of the major joints and spine, and I just don't have the pain that I used to have. It's really kind of amazing. Balance of Nature has been an amazing product. I've recommended it to literally hundreds. I'm a pastor, and I've said, y'all just try it. Give it a month. Give it a try. And so hopefully they have. But it's an amazing product, and the neatest thing is when you first open up that bottle and you can smell the fruits and vegetables. Every time I open one, I just get a big kick out of that.
When you call, use discount code CHICAGO, and we'll take 35% off your first preferred set of fruits and veggies and have them shipped to you free. Call 800-246-8751. That's 1-800-246-8751, or go online to balanceofnature.com and use discount code CHICAGO.
Did you know that your sump pump is the heart of your basement waterproofing system? Hi, I'm Roy Spencer, president of Permaseal. You know how many sump pumps fail? That's right, all of them. It isn't a matter of if, but rather when your pump will fail. Unfortunately, you may not realize there's a problem until your basement is flooded and you've incurred thousands of dollars in damages. At Permaseal, we make it easy to have your sump system evaluated and a reliable pump and battery backup system installed. Call Permaseal today at 800-421-SEAL to schedule your free inspection. We've received many calls from happy customers whose basement and belongings were protected during this past rainy season. But don't take our word for it. Check out our reviews with the Better Business Bureau. You'll see that many of your friends and neighbors are part of the Permaseal family. Get the peace of mind that comes with a dry basement and a healthy home. You know who to call. Permaseal. 800-421-SEAL or visit permaseal.net.
Best for being better, Permaseal.
Signature Bank is Chicago's fastest growing independently owned business bank. It's a bank where relationships still matter. Signature Bank knows your name and your story. I'm Dan Proft, and I know this because Signature Bank is my business bank.
Hi, I'm Kevin Bastuga, co-founder of Signature Bank. If you get the feeling your deposits don't matter to your bank, then maybe you're not with the right bank. At Signature Bank, your deposits matter to us as much as your business loans. Signature provides unmatched banking expertise, custom financial solutions, and the industry's best technology to closely held Chicagoland businesses. Whether your business is looking for a deposit relationship or needs a ready source for financing, Signature Bank is the right bank for you. Call us today to see how Signature Bank can help your business grow and thrive.
Signature Bank is looking for their next success story. To learn more about turning your business vision into reality, visit signaturebank.bank. Signature Bank, helping local businesses succeed. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Looking to refinance your home? Then you need to call Team Hochberg. Sally's heard hundreds of Team Hochberg's ads, so naturally she called the nation's largest online lender, obsessed with their Rocket, because she saw their ad pumping gas. Bad move. The Rocket-loving lender quoted Sally a rate higher than us, and closing costs $6,000 more than Team Hochberg's. We explained the exorbitant closing costs and refinanced Sally into a lower rate and credited all of her closing costs. Team Hochberg doesn't have a Rocket, but we have lower rates and substantially lower closing costs than the nation's largest online Rocket-loving lender. You could call the nation's largest online lender who spends millions promoting their Rocket by charging excessive closing costs, or you could call Team Hochberg at 312-751-1333 or visit am560david.com. Team Hochberg has helped thousands of AM560 listeners, but we can't help if you don't call 312-751-1333 or visit am560david.com. Pearl Mortgage and Equal Housing Lender, Illinois Residential Mortgage Licensee 4358 and MLS 19186.
Andrew Womack is coming back to the Chicago area. Don't miss this upcoming free event, the Chicago Gospel Truth Conference. This year, Andrew is joined by Powerhouse Bible teacher Keith Moore of Branson, Missouri. This year's conference will again be held at the Western Lombard Yorktown Center, August 23rd through 25th. Come expecting to receive profound revelation in the Word at this life-changing time of teaching and ministry, where the Word will be taught with clarity, simplicity, with a special emphasis on God's unconditional love and the balance between grace and faith. The conference is free, so bring your family and friends. Go to awmi.net/events for registration and event details. Andrew's Ministry of the Word will change you and set you free. Many will be saved, filled with the Holy Spirit, and healed. Special times of worship led by recording artists Charlie and Jill LeBlanc will uplift and encourage you. You'll be glad you were there. Go to awmi.net/events for registration and conference details.
AM 560, The Answer.
Dan and John Cass in for Amy J this morning.
Yeah.
Coming up at 8:08, New York Times columnist suggests that Trump would like to round people up and murder them. And speaking of murders, 53 shot, 6 dead over the weekend in Chicago. We'll discuss both with the esteemed John Cass after we check the headlines with Mike Scott.
Dangerous waves expected on Lake Michigan today. 5 wounded in one Chicago shooting alone, and the Heidi Pendleton murder trial resumes today. WIND Chicago News Time is 8 o'clock.
Disgraced and discredited. I'm Chris Foster, Fox News. President Trump again starting his day on Twitter, attacking the special counsel Russia investigation at the White House. Here's Fox's John Decker.
The president tweeting disgraced and discredited Bob Mueller and his whole group of angry Democrat thugs spent over 30 hours with the White House counsel only with my approval for purposes of transparency. He continued, anybody needing that much time when they know there is no Russian collusion is just someone looking for trouble. Meanwhile, Rudy Giuliani, President Trump's personal attorney, telling NBC's Meet the Press why he's opposed to letting special counsel Robert Mueller interview the president.
No, it isn't truth. Truth isn't truth.
Giuliani was trying to make a point about people making contradictory statements to the special counsel. Chris?
John, after being told to put the case out of their mind for the weekend, jurors at the Paul Manafort trial get back to work this hour in Alexandria, Virginia. The president's former campaign manager is charged with tax and bank fraud.
With no verdict after 14 hours of deliberation, Paul Manafort's attorneys are feeling confident about their chances.
Very good. We're very, very happy about the fair trial that Judge Ellis ensured for Mr. Manafort.
Clearly deliberating longer, it favors your client?
I do. I'm with him. And he does.
In Washington, I'm Garrett Tenney, Fox News.
The president's national security advisor, John Bolton, met with the Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu in Jerusalem today. Next, Bolton will meet with his Russian counterpart in Geneva, Switzerland.
This amid larger conversations with the Russians about the future of leadership in Syria. When asked by ABC News if Syrian President Bashar al-Assad staying in power is an acceptable outcome for the United States, Bolton responded by saying the U.S. is focused on defeating ISIS and also focused on humanitarian aid.
That's Fox's Trey Yingst in Jerusalem. We're a half hour to the opening bell on Wall Street in New York. Dow futures are up 53 points. S&P futures up 5. NASDAQ futures are up 19 points. Fox News, fair and balanced.
Gray skies, 73 degrees at 8:02 on AM 560. The Answer. Good morning. I'm Mike Scott. The investigation is underway following the death of 2 teenage boys found shot in a field on Chicago's far south side early this morning. Reports say 16-year-old Rayshawn Turner and 17-year-old Darnell Flowers were discovered near East 131st and South Rhodes Avenue. Both teens have been reported missing over the weekend. Beachgoers are being warned about dangerous waves today in Lake Michigan. Beach hazard statement is up at Illinois and Indiana beaches. Wave heights about 5 feet, strong rip currents expected. This after 3 boys who are dead pulled from Lake Michigan and 3 separate incidents over the weekend, 1 near Waukegan and 2 near the Indiana Dunes State Park. No one is in custody after 5 were shot on Chicago's South Side. Police say all are recovering after a shooting happened after some victims had participated in a weekly softball game. The trial of 2 men charged with the murder of Chicago teen Heidi Pendleton is set to resume today. Chicago sports, Pirates dropped the Cubs 2-1. Adam Frazier's game-winning home run in the bottom of the 11th gave Pittsburgh the win. White Sox rally for a 7-6 victory over the Royals at Guaranteed Rate Field, and the White Sox take on the Twins tonight in a makeup game. Our time is 8:03. It's time for the AM 560 Business Beat. From the Fox Business Network, here is Roger Stern.
From the Fox Business Network, Estee Lauder is out with earnings that beat analyst estimates. The company made 49 cents a share or 61 cents a share when adjusted for one-time gains and costs. The company also posted annual earnings, with CEO Fabrizio Freda saying fiscal 2018 was an outstanding year for our company. It generated higher sales in every region and product category and gained global share. A big deal making news this Monday morning, PepsiCo buying SodaStream International for $3.2 billion. SodaStream's name brand product is those machines which lets you make seltzer or other sodas at home. And the U.S. renewed sanctions against Iran are having an effect on the energy business. Iran announcing this morning that France's Total SA is pulling out of Iran. This after Total canceled its $5 billion 20-year agreement to build a massive offshore natural gas field. With the Fox Business Report, I'm Roger Stern.
It's 8:04, a check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
Larry Elder explains that this is not Obama's economy.
Had Obama won a third term, would Obama have instituted the tax cuts that Trump did? Not very likely. U.S. employment, as you know, is down to 3.9%. More people employed in the country than any time in history. But here's the big interesting thing. Nearly 25% since the year 2000 of all job increases have occurred during the Trump years.
The Larry Elder Show. Weeknights at 7, right before Jay Sekulow at 9 on AM 560. The Answer.
It's the Ford Summer Sales Event. And now, while selection is best, it's the best time to buy. With amazing offers across a full lineup of Ford vehicles, now is the time to make summer go right with Ford, America's best-selling brand. Stop by a local Ford store or shop online at buyfordnow.com, because there is no better time than right now to get behind the wheel of a new Ford during the Ford Summer Sales Event. The Ford Summer Sales Event is here. Right now, get 0% APR financing, 72 months plus $1,000 Ford credit bonus cash on a great lineup of Ford SUVs. Best-selling claim based on 2017 calendar year sales. Not all buyers qualify for Ford credit financing. 72 months at $1,389 per month for $1,000 finance regardless of down payment. Not available on Expedition. For all offers, take new retail delivery from authorized Ford dealer stock by 8/31/18. See dealer or go to buyfordnow.com for qualifications and details.
It is 8:06. That means it's time to get an update on the roads in the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center. With the very latest, here's Jim Talamonte.
Thanks, Mike. The roadwork delays are heavy this morning on southbound 53 between Rand Road and Higgins. Northbound Veterans Memorial has delays from I-55 most of the way to North Avenue. On the Tri-State, it slows southbound O'Plain to Bradley and from the Adams Spillway to Irving Park. Northbound from 75th to the Hinsdale Oasis and Roosevelt to Lawrence. Eden's 19 minutes, Lake Cook to Montrose outbound 30. The Spur has delays now in both directions. Kennedy inbound delays start at Irving Park, 44 minutes, O'Hare to downtown, outbound 42. Inbound Eisenhower, 40 minutes, 390 to downtown, just 25 from Manheim, outbound 39 to 390. Stevenson, 42 minutes, 355 to Lakeshore Drive, outbound 41. Ryan, 24 minutes, 95th to downtown, all clear on I-57 at Bishop Ford. Traffic service of Applebee's. Back to school is a whole lot tastier when kids eat free at Applebee's. Monday through Thursday, now through August 30th, get one kids meal free with each adult entree. Dine-in only, valid for kids 12 and under ordering from the kids menu. Participating Applebee's locations only. Applebee's makes back to school taste better. Traffic answers when you need them most. I'm Jim Talamonte on AM 560, The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer continues next. Your official Chicagoland weather forecast from the 1 Hour Heating and Air Conditioning Weather Center with meteorologist Kevin Snyder.
Today, cloudy and humid, showers and thunderstorms, some heavy for the afternoon, high 79. Evening showers and a heavy thunderstorm followed by a passing late night shower tonight with a low 69. Morning shower, otherwise mostly cloudy tomorrow, high 78. I'm Kevin Snyder on AM 560, The Answer.
Gray skies, 73 degrees. Your next news update is at 8:30. Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next with Chicago Tribune columnist John Cass in for Amy this morning on AM 560, The Answer.
This hourly segment is brought to you by Turnkey IT. giving you the freedom to focus on your business while they handle the technical stuff. Turnkey IT.
This is Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan Proft and Amy Jacobson on AM 560. The Answer.
Top of the morning, Dan, and in for Amy J is storied Chicago Tribune columnist John Cass. And
legendary,
excuse me. Mm-hmm. Legendary and storied. How about both?
Okay.
And John, so Rudy G sort of gave the left some bulletin board material on Meet the Press over the weekend, and I'm sure you'll see truth is not truth in campaign commercials in addition to memes. Yes, of course. Michelle Goldberg, and I don't know why this isn't amplified more. Some of the ridiculous statements that are emblematic of the intellectual heft of the left at the moment. Michelle Goldberg, she was on talking about President Trump, MSNBC Roundtable with Katie Tour. And here's what she had to say about the president.
Oh, no, he's not. He's not the leader of the free world, but sorry.
Well, by default, he's the leader of the free world.
Angela Merkel's the leader of the free world, but...
Well, right? he is the most important person in the world, in politics right now, and he is very vocal. And I do agree with you that this does express a level of exasperation among his aides that they can't have any control over.
Yeah, go ahead. I'm sorry. Your argument that he's not the leader of the free world because he's not standing up for democracy, he's not standing up for humanitarian rights. He's a sort of junior player in a block of authoritarian countries. And the people like the European Union are no longer looking at him as a leader any longer, and they're thinking of doing the right thing. They see him as right. They see he's he's part of a bloc that includes Vladimir Putin, Duterte. He's kind of part of he's part of kind of an axis power.
Well, hold on. That's worse. It's worse than that in a certain way. I mean, not that that's not the worst thing you could have said, because it's about the worst thing you could say about him. But if he's not the leader,
rounding people up and murdering them without any due process. He'd certainly like to.
Well, anyway.
President Trump would probably like to round people up and murder them without due process. Michelle Goldberg, New York Times columnists like Sarah Jong, New York Times editorial board member. These are the deep thinkers. These are your betters telling you what time it is. Authoritarian despots, Duterte, Putin. Trump has made us a third world country. He's no different. He's part of an axis with Putin and Duterte.
Part of, I think much of social media is about name calling and stupidity. And I think that some of these columnists engage in that to the point of, and name calling is good. Don't get me wrong.
Mm-hmm.
I use nicknames all the time.
As do I.
But you have to have some analysis with it, and to say that on air and not be laughed at by people of the left. There are many people of the left who should be mocking Michelle Goldberg for saying such a ridiculous, stupid thing. They're not. Yeah, and I wonder if it's discourse to the point, someone joked, John, when are you going to come down to the Tribune Tower and sit in your little, common desk with all the other columnists?
Yeah.
And I say it's not a, friendly, toxic environment or something. But
in Cube World down at the new Trib, yeah.
Right. But in the day of William Buckley and people of the left that he would debate, anyone talking in those terms, either from the left or the right, and I hear it from the right too, would be laughed at.
They're not serious people.
Serious people.
They're not serious people. And the interesting thing to me, it seems,
that's our discourse now.
And it seems, and I have issues with Trump's communication choices often, but what he's done is he's sort of he's exposed all of these other pseudo intellects that have been populating the editorial pages and the newsrooms and the television screen for the last 50 years. He's exposed them.
Yeah.
And it seems to me that there's always a drag, usually a drag, shouldn't say always, usually a drag for the party in power in midterm elections. And so we're 80 days out, we're talking about midterm elections. But I'm not surprised by the pronouncements from Salvanto, the CBS pollster out this weekend, that he doesn't see a blue wave, that a blue wave is unlikely, that you're looking at maybe the Democrats pick up 20 some odd seats, but maybe the Republicans hold the House and obviously the Senate. And he wouldn't be surprised by that either when you look at the when you get the feedback from the voters in these 50 to 60 odd swing congressional districts.
They think these pseudo-intellectuals, particularly the New York Times,
they think they're the Pied Pipers.
No, I know. I mean, the boss of the New York Times, Dean Baquet, and I worked together for years.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he's a decent man, but the people he's employing are ridiculous, and they don't understand why Trump won the election. It's not because people don't like Trump. It's because people hate you guys. They can't stand that nonsense that comes out of your mouth. They really can't stand it.
Well, and
that liberal condescension and that, he wants to kill everybody, round us up, really? Or John Brennan, treason, really? I mean, it's just like okay to say whatever you want out of your mouth. It reminds me of what my grandfather said. Papu Pete would say, "Aftos milai, geogaidros klani."
It's funny. I would always. That's my saying.
You know what it means?
Yeah.
When the left speaks, the donkeys break wind. So they're talking to their big policy, blah, 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 blah. Meanwhile, while they're going blah, 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 there's a bunch of donkeys tied up to a post, and they're breaking wind.
Grandpa Pete really cut to the chase.
Yes, he did.
He really boiled it down. John Brennan, since you were talking about asses, was on Meet the Press this week, and he doubled down.
Yeah.
He doubled down on treason, like you were saying. This is John Brennan, who's now, of course, announced he's contemplating litigating the revocation of his security clearance.
Discovery, Alderman.
Do you regret essentially accusing the president of treason? Do you regret some of the things you have said?
Well, I called his behavior treasonous, which is to betray one's trust and to aid and abet the enemy, and I stand very much by that claim.
You are the former CIA director accusing the sitting president of the United States. It's not a private citizen. A lot of people hear the former CIA director accusing the sitting president of the United States of treason. That's a monumental accusation.
Well, I think these are abnormal times, and I think a lot of people have spoken out against what Mr. Trump has done, and maybe it's my warning training as an intelligence professional. I have seen the lights blinking red in terms of what Mr. Trump has done and is doing, and is bringing this country down on the global stage, and he's feeding divisiveness within our country. He continually lies to the American people, and the types of things that he's doing, I think I need to speak out. And so I've been speaking out rather forcefully because I believe it's important to do so. I don't believe I'm being political at all. I'm not a Republican, I'm not a Democrat. And many members of the Congress over the years who have security clearances have spoken out rather forcefully against whoever was in the Oval Office if they weren't from the same political party. So now as a private citizen, they're telling me that I shouldn't do that. I'm sorry.
No, actually, they're not telling you that at all. You're not a Republican, you're not a Democrat, you're a Gus Hall voter, I know. And they're not telling you that at all, which is a lie, John Brennan. So we already know, you've already established yourself as a liar throughout your career at CIA. Yeah, we've already established that he's a liar. Repeated lying to the American people, to Congress about hacking into Senate Intel Committee computers, about the drone program, about enhanced interrogation post 9/11.
How about lying about telling the survivors of Benghazi that no, I did not have them sign a non-disclosure agreement?
Yes.
No, he said to Congress, no.
Right.
He did.
And
liar.
And he's lying again, and the lie is that anybody's trying to silence him. Who said that you're not allowed to go on CNN or MSNBC? Who said you're not allowed to access the New York Times editorial pages? The idea that a guy is complaining about being silenced while on Meet the Press is an irony that is completely lost on the left. And I just go back to say the wave that should be coming with a sort of polarizing a figure as Trump, despite the relative health of the economy, is being undermined or being tamped down, that wave, by John Brennan and Michelle Goldberg and others like them that are unserious people, and I don't care what their previous title was. I don't care how many years they served in various capacities in the government. I look at your conduct, and the conduct is delegitimizing and disqualifying, which is why you see, and who's listening, really? I mean, we have to analyze this, I suppose. I don't even know if we do anymore, because I don't know if anybody actually cares what John Brennan has to say other than the dyed-in-the-wool partisans. The news out over the weekend. NAACP, Rasmussen, 21 to 36% of African-American families approve of the president's job performance. Now, that's still a distinct minority of that minority population. But, I mean, he got 8% of the vote in 2016. If you're talking about blacks turning out to vote Republican in double digits, even low double digits. Like 10.
It's over. Because you need black people, what Stephanie Trussell always calls it, the donkey plantation. And one point here, nowhere does Chuck Todd, here's where the media steps in it.
Chuck Todd.
Okay, I know. Plus, you know what? The Caesar haircut, dude, just, admit you're bald. But the Chuck Todd thing, where he doesn't question, even push back, let him say what he wants to say. Okay, it's an interview. But you have to say at one point, didn't you lie to Congress A, B, and C? Didn't you? And what about Richard Burr's statement, sir, the chairman of the Senate Intelligence Committee, that you didn't bring any of this to the committee? So either you're lying then or lying now. Where's that kind of pushback? A little bit of journalistic, what is it called? Impartiality. A little
either institutional knowledge. You're either completely ignorant or you're in the tank, right? So it's not institutional knowledge. It's an unwillingness to challenge the credibility of the witness on the stand, so to speak.
Why? You're using this boob with his, demanding his security clearance. You're using him as a tool to bash the political party that you hate. And people know that.
And by the way, this guy is, creating a blast zone around him, is John Brennan. Because even clap on, clap off, Jim Clapper was running from him over the weekend with Jake Tapper. He wants his security clearance.
This is the morning show more Chicago radio listeners are choosing. This is Chicago's Morning Answer on AM 560. The Answer.
Well, I guess it's weather because the red light's on. Okay. Mostly cloudy and not as warm. Heavy thunderstorms this afternoon. High of 79. Tonight, cloudy and humid. Showers and a heavier thunderstorm early, then a shower. Low 69. And now, for the traffic, Jim Telemonte.
Thank you, Mr. Cass. Good morning. Dan, thanks. On the north side of Chicago, in a busy stretch of Lincoln Park, Lincoln Avenue has been blocked off between the intersection with Fullerton and Halstead and Belden for a construction crane removal. And that closure is scheduled till Thursday, late afternoon. Eden's 19 minutes. Lake Hook to Montrose outbound 32. The spur has roadwork delays in both directions. Inbound Academy, heavy Irving Park to the Burns Circle. 38 minutes, O'Hare to downtown. 26 from Montrose, but 28 in the Express. The outbound side, 42 minutes to O'Hare. Eisenhower, 45 minutes, 390 to downtown. 28 from Manhunt. Outbound 42 to 390. Stevenson, 48 minutes, 355 to the drive. Outbound 40. Ryan, 24 minutes, 95 to downtown. Southbound Tri-State delays, 137 to Bradley. And from the Adams Tollway to Irving Park. Northbound 75th to the Hinsdale Oasis and Roosevelt to Lawrence. Veterans Memorial heavy northbound, Boughton to the Reagan Tollway. Southbound 53 has construction delays from Rand Road to Higgins. Northwest Indiana just fine. I'm Jim Talamonte in the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center.
As a parent, you want what's best for your children. That means sending them to a school where they'll get the superior education they deserve, and that also shares your values. That can be tricky these days, as public schools have changed and private schools can be expensive. Your household budget has already been cut to the bone, and it's hard to imagine where you'll find that extra money. Well, there's help to lessen that financial burden and provide your child with the very best education at half the cost. At AM 560 The Answer, we work with private schools throughout the Chicagoland area to provide tuition for families at half the normal cost. Just log on to halfpriceschools.com and you'll find some of Chicagoland's finest private schools, from preschool all the way through high school, at half the cost. And chances are there's a school right in your neighborhood. Invest in your child's education and future at halfpriceschools.com. A limited number of half-price vouchers are available. Go to halfpriceschools.com now.
Being successful in business means overcoming enormous obstacles to serve your customers and community. AM 560, The Answer, wants to shine a spotlight on businesses that are thriving. We want to celebrate their success by finding out what makes these businesses unique, successful, and what we can learn from them. We want to know how you built it. Presented by Chicagoland Waterproofing. To tell us how you built it, go to 560theanswer.com/built. That's 560theanswer.com/BUILT. Sponsored by Signature Bank and Ozinga.
Your local 1-hour heating and air conditioning knows how miserable it feels when your AC goes out. You want it fixed fast, fixed right, and get a fast quote. Unlike some companies, we don't give you a quote until we actually see what the problem is. Then we'll give you our straightforward price and always stand by our work. Right now, get savings on any AC repair. Call 855-1-HOUR.
Your comfort is just a call away. Call 1-HOUR.
Terms and conditions may apply. Call for details. Independently owned and operated. Licensed in the respective state or county.
My name is Lauren Sullivan, and I was diagnosed with multiple sclerosis 9 years ago. And I was severely disabled. And about 6 years ago, my mother had found Balance of Nature. So we decided to give it a try because at that point, nothing was helping. I was skeptical at first, but over time I realized I had more energy levels. I was sleeping better, which was huge, and my hair looked better, my skin looked better, my nails looked better, and then I was able to weed off some of those medications. And I know, had I not found Balance of Nature, I would not be living the quality of life that I am now.
When you call, use discount code CHICAGO, and we'll take 35% off your first preferred set of fruits and veggies and have them shipped to you free. Call 800-246-8751. That's 1-800-246-8751, or go online to balanceofnature.com and use discount code CHICAGO.
Hi, Barry Sterner, owner of Townstone Financial. I could talk to you all day about how I feel about Townstone's service, low closing costs, and great rates. But how about listening to one of our customers?
My name's Elisa French. We've had such good experience with Townstone Financial and specifically Barry Sterner that when my mom was looking to move to Chicago, the first thing I said to her was, she had to call Townstone and got in touch with Barry Sterner, which again, amazing relationship. My sisters, when I am able to ask a question, and I have many questions when it comes to this, he really almost holds my hand with his knowledge and explains in such an easy way, and it makes me feel comfortable. So it's easy for me to recommend him.
Remember, nobody values your business more than Townstone Financial, and I'm always available to answer your questions. Call me now, Barry Sterner, 312-896-2111. That's 312-896-2111. Or go to townstone.com. That's TOWNSTONE.com.
Townstone Financials, Indiana, Michigan, Wisconsin, Florida, Illinois, mortgage licensee 6629 and NMLS 136639, equal housing lender.
On AM 560 The Answer, we talk about the important issues that affect your world. Things like the economy, education, and foreign policy. There's always so much going on in the news that we don't always have the time to focus in and talk about the big ideas behind the important issues. Enter Upstream Ideas online at upstream-ideas.com. Upstream Ideas, in partnership with the Illinois Opportunity Project, provides the kind of information that informs the policy discussions happening here on AM 560. At Upstream Ideas, you'll broaden the debate, move beyond partisan assumptions, and challenge accepted beliefs. Upstream Ideas goes against the current and thinks upstream. Go online now at upstream-ideas.com. That's upstream-ideas.com. You'll be armed with new information and fresh perspectives to help encourage you to make the state of Illinois and the United States of America a bit freer, a bit more just, and a bit more civilized. Upstream-ideas.com.
AM 560, The Answer.
Dan and John Cass in for Amy J this morning, and we're talking about the overheated and unhinged rhetoric of the left.
Why I hate them. Really, basically.
In advance of the midterms.
Really, it's like, I don't like, look, I'm not a Trump fan, but this constant, the thing about Todd with Brennan and not reminding his listeners why Brennan lied to Congress, et cetera, or what Richard Burr said, by not saying that, I get ill physically because I see my business, journalism, going down the tubes.
Well, you know what you're saying is you want a little RESPICT.
So in the words of my late friend Aretha Franklin, show some RESPICT.
Mm-hmm.
And the next time you get a black woman and a beagle confused, remember this. I got you.
That was his message to Trump over the Omarosa matter. Sing it with me, John. ICT.
ICT.
RESPICT.
Hey, it's better than what he said about the Greeks.
What did he say about the Greeks?
I sent it to you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, tell us.
Said he said something about African kings being doing philosophy and architecture and everything, and before when those Greek homos were in the cave.
Oh, that's Sharpton.
Hiding in caves. This is Mr. Tolerance.
Huh? Does that fit with
any race riots you could start in New York where people get stabbed? Al
or Jesse? What does Jesse call New York? Now, does that fit within the confines of MSNBC's hate speech protocols?
I don't know. What would Joy Reid say?
Oh, gosh. Let's ask her. Katie Toorer, Nicole Wallace. They're all the same. Mary at Midway.
Oh, hello there. You know what? I really don't even follow politics, but nowadays, I mean, this is going to come out wrong, but all the entertainment shows are pretty much over. But for what's left, I like to listen to your show. So now I'm following politics. Hello?
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
Hello?
Yes.
And I watched Chappaquiddick, and I
Did you
thought,
like it?
how is it that, I mean, we all knew that I'm the S word, not 70, 60, but I do remember that incident. It was bad enough. When you watch that movie and you realize his very people told him, you have to go back. We're going to take care of damage control, report what happened. They find him the next day on a slab like, no, I chose not to go back. She died of asphyxiation. We all know that now. He could have saved her life. My point, I could go on and on, but my point is to think Nancy Pelosi and so many others are, what a great man he was. He was the lion of the Senate.
Yeah.
I can see when somebody dies, but they were even gushing about how great he was even before then. And they're going to say bad things about Trump, like he's a Hitler and so on, when somebody who actively, is responsible for killing someone was negligent to the extreme about it, and then decided, I'm going to keep running instead of hiding his head like the rest of us would.
Yeah, thanks for the call, Mary. Thanks for listening. We appreciate it. Coming up, we're going to hear from Bridget Gabriel, New York Times bestselling author and terrorism expert. She's got a new book, Rise, in Defense of Judeo-Christian Values and Freedom. That's at 8:38. But now we check the headlines with Mike Scott.
Gray skies. We'll have clouds and storms throughout the day, and there is a beach warning up for beachgoers in Illinois and Indiana today. National Weather Service says waves will reach 5 feet plus, and strong rip currents are expected, and those headed for the beach should stay out of the water. Former national security officials are joining in an opposition letter to President Trump's decision to strip former CIA Director John Brennan's security clearance. The new letter is dated today, signed by more than 175, but the letter does note that while everyone who signed does not agree with Brennan, they should be able to express concerns about national security issues without fear. The jury in the Paul Manafort case restarts its deliberations today in Alexandria, Virginia, following 2 days of deliberations last week. At least one member of the U.S.-led coalition is dead after an American military helicopter crashed in Iraq today. A number of others are injured. 2 are dead after a shooting at a food distribution plant near Houston. Police in Missouri City, Texas, say the woman who did the shooting and a man who worked at that plant are both dead. An investigation continues following the death of 2 teenage boys found shot in a field on Chicago's far south side. The violence part of a weekend in Chicago that saw at least 6 killed and 55 wounded. The trial of 2 men charged with the murder of Chicago teen Hydea Pendleton is set to resume later today. That 15-year-old was shot and killed at a Southside park in 2013. Pirates beat the Cubs in 11, 2-1. White Sox rally for a 7-6 win over the Royals. The News, a service of Mothers Against Drunk Driving. For victims of drunk and drug driving, their grief is unique, but you are not alone. MAD is here to help. Call their 24-hour victim helpline, 877-MAD-HELP, or MADD.org. 8:33, and a check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
Mike Gallagher calls out the Never Trumpers.
They are so crazed, consumed with their personal hatred of this man that they don't care what happens to the country. They don't care what happens in terms of policy. They don't care what happens in terms of anything that has been achieved in the nearly 2 years that Donald Trump's been president. They are unglued.
The Mike Gallagher Show. Weekdays at 9, right before Dennis Prager at 11 on AM 560. The Answer.
Progressive Insurance. Pick from a range of coverage options with the Name Your Price tool to find a price that works for you.
Signature Bank is Chicago's fastest growing independently owned business bank. It's a bank where relationships still matter. Signature Bank knows your name and your story. I'm Dan Proft, and I know this because Signature Bank is my business bank.
I'm Ryan Siebert, CEO of SG Home Builders and a customer of Signature Bank. Over the last 10 years, my business pivoted multiple times to adjust to the fluctuations in the Chicago real estate market. Signature Bank's partnership with us and their ability to adapt to changes has allowed us to become a leading custom home builder. Signature Bank is a relationship-based business bank right here in Chicago, providing services and advice that address our unique situation, and they serve as a trusted consultant on what works best for my business. Signature Bank helped us build SG Home Builders while we were busy building dream homes for our clients.
Signature Bank is looking for their next success story. To learn more about turning your business vision into reality, visit signaturebank.bank. Signature Bank, helping local businesses succeed. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
It is 8:35. Let's get an update on the morning ride to work in the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center. Here's Jim Talamonte.
Thanks, Mike. The inbound Edens, it's great. It's 19 minutes, Lake Hook to Montrose. So the eastbound spur is heavy from the Tri-State to Waukegan Road. Westbound, the Edens to the toll plaza. Outbound Edens doesn't clear up to get past Skokie Road. It's 32 minutes Montrose to Lake Hook. On Kennedy, delays start at Irving Park. 38 minutes, O'Hare to downtown. 26 from Montrose, but 28 in the Express. Outbound 17 minutes to Montrose, 42 to O'Hare. Inbound Eisenhower, 45 minutes, 390 to downtown. 28 from Manheim. Outbound 42 to 390. Stevenson, 45 minutes, 355 to Lakeshore Drive. Outbound 36. Bryan, 24 minutes, 95th to downtown. I-57, Bishop Ford to Fine. Southbound Lakeshore Drive, slow Wilson to Fullerton. Northbound from the Stevenson to Jackson. Southbound Tri-State delays, 137 to Bradley. And from the Adams Tollway to Irving Park. Northbound 75th to the Hinsdale Oasis and Roosevelt to Lawrence. Northbound Veterans Memorial, Fountain to the Reagan Tollway. Southbound 53 delays are from Rand to Higgins. Traffic answers when you need them most. I'm Jim Talamonte on AM 560. The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer continues next. Your official Chicagoland weather forecast from the 1 Hour Heating and Air Conditioning Weather Center. Clouds, storms are on the way. They're coming from the southwest, heading north, already through Peoria this morning. Not as warm. Heavy thunderstorms will hit 11 noontime, high 79. And then storms possible overnight as well, low 69. Currently 73. Next news coming up at 9. Chicago's Morning Answer continues next on AM 560. The Answer.
This hourly segment is brought to you by Financial Planning with Jack Taboda, your 401k rollover specialist. Heard Saturday mornings at 7 on AM 560, The Answer.
Let freedom ring this afternoon at 2 with Sean Hannity, right before Joe Walsh at 5 on AM 560, The Answer.
Good morning, Dan. And in for Amy J this morning is venerated Chicago Tribune columnist John Cass.
As opposed to worship, because veneration is different than worship.
Yes.
For those of us Christians who understand.
We honor.
Icons.
Yes, we honor. Boy, this topic keeps coming back this morning. We were talking to Doug Weed, a presidential historian, about shadow banning and just outright banning of conservatives and conservative content by the big social media outfits. And our next guest has also been targeted for elimination, like our friend and colleague Dennis Prager. Brigitte Gabriel is a New York Times bestselling author and terrorism expert. She has a new book out called Rise, Rise, in Defense of Judeo-Christian Values and Freedom. She was banned by Facebook by posting about the raid on that New Mexico compound where you had Islamists training children to be school shooters. Not making this up. We've stories just say one of the women in the compound had overstayed her visa for 20 years. Thinking about national security issues like immigration policy. She's banned on Facebook, Brigitte Gabriel, for posting this about one of those arrested in that raid. This is the smile of a sick and depraved Muslim terrorist who is back on the streets on bail after training children to shoot up schools. The judge who allowed this to happen should be removed from their post ASAP. If he harms anyone while on bail, the blood is on their hands. Yeah? And that got her banned from Facebook. Those pesky algorithms and conservative content checkers employed by Mark Zuckerberg. For more on her social media travails as well as the underlying substance of her book, we're pleased to be joined now by Brigitte Gabriel. Brigitte, thanks for joining us. Appreciate it.
Thank you, Dan and John. I'm delighted to be with you this morning.
So now Facebook has designated you apparently the same way that the Southern Poverty Law Center has, which is a hate group because you're opposed to Islamist terrorism. That relationship and that feedback you're getting as a person of Lebanese descent who is talking about the values undergirding this country as compared to the Islamist fundamentalists.
Well, exactly. I mean, in the post that I posted on Facebook was basically showing a picture of the smile, the smirk on the face of this terrorist, basically laughing, walking out of the courtroom. This is the gentleman, I shouldn't even call him a gentleman, he's a terrorist who was training children to shoot up schools. And we got to the point in our country, Dan and John, that we cannot call a terrorist even though he has been already arrested for the crime. And out on bail. So this is the state of affair we are in, and this is exactly why I wrote the book Rise. It's a rallying cry for Americans who love our country, who care about our country, who are seeing the deterioration of our country and the destruction of our country from within, to rise up and speak up while we still can exercise our freedom of speech, while at least we can still talk to our elected officials and say, we need laws to protect the equality and expression between conservatives and libertarians and Democrats. What made America great is our ability to come together and discuss ideas and debate ideas. And out of that debate, we came up with what was best for our country, what was best for our children. Today, that is being eroded and silenced, and freedom of speech is one of our most fundamental pillars. And so this is why I wrote the book. And by the way, in each chapter of the book, I not only discuss the problem, for example, when I talk about freedom of speech and what's happening in the country, but we give people talking points and actions as to what they can do to make a difference. For example, we introduced the Free Speech Defense Act, and we have already passed that bill in 11 states, and we are now talking to members of Congress to introduce it on the federal level. We teach people where to go, how to go, what numbers to call, the name of the bill, and how they can be engaged.
Do you want the federal government to be involved in regulating social media?
Right now, what we are dealing with is basically a monopoly by the four top major social media giants like Google, Twitter, Facebook. The American public right now is no longer getting the news from the three television news network the way it used to be 40 years ago. They're not even getting it from cable news. Where they're getting it from is on their iPhones and iPads, and they're getting it through their social media, especially the millennium, especially people under 40. And this is why we must ensure that voices like ours, Christian voices, religious voices, freedom voices, journalism voices, authors, pundits, writers will be able to express their opinion without being shadow banned by Twitter, without being put in Facebook jail, banned for 24 hours as punishment for posting something like what Facebook did to me. We need to ensure that freedom of speech is protected as much as our founding fathers worked so hard to give us the liberties that we have. We must ensure that those liberties are passed to our future generations.
But freedom of speech is with respect to restraint on government. So when it comes to a college campus or a social media communication channel, isn't that different?
Can you repeat the question?
So freedom of speech, you're talking about our First Amendment freedom of speech rights. That is a restraint on government. So when we're talking about private social media giants and their communication channels, or we're talking about college campuses, unless they're taxpayer funded, that creates a bit of a complication. It's a different thing restraining a private entity than it is restraining government with respect to freedom of expression.
Well, we do not want to restrain them. We want to make sure they are fair. If they are right now, no new business outfit can compete with Facebook. We have talked to a lot of startup companies on the national level who are trying to build something like Facebook, but you can't even start because they are the mega worldwide. So I even talked with conservatives who want to launch, and I asked them, we have been approached by different people who are starting on the conservative side to start the equivalent of Facebook, as a free enterprise. And they said to us, not only we will not be able, it will be such limited exposure talking in an echo chamber if we go with them, but how else the masses are going to be exposed to our voices? Because Facebook is where the masses are. Twitter is where the masses are. So we need to make sure that there is transparency and there is equality in the treatment of voices. If they're going to be that much of a giant, that we will make sure that there is fairness. We're not telling them what to do. We're telling them that if they're going to have that big of a wider and control over social media, they need to be fair and basically letting all voices be expressed.
In your book, Rise, the issue of connecting the dots for people. So going back to this raid on this New Mexico Islamist training compound teaching children to be school shooters. I mean, incredibly, it's really not gotten the coverage it demands. But connecting the dots from the principles of that terrorist cell to even some organizers of high-profile women's marches who've otherwise been celebrated in the Eastern establishment press, like Linda Sarsour.
Exactly. And right now we are seeing our enemies, the enemies of America, come together and work together and network together to basically destroy the America that we know right now as it was founded in the image of our founding fathers. So what we're seeing is far left groups are regularly working with Islamic organizations such as CARE, the Council on American Islamic Relations, or ISNA, Islamic Society of North America, and others, to present almost every common sense intelligence and security measure that will secure the country from terrorist attacks and taking hold. So they have been colluding together, working together. For example, the left right now is also funding Islamic organizations like CARE. They are funding personalities like Linda Sarsour. In an interview with Linda Sarsour by Glamour magazine, she was bragging about how organizations like Planned Parenthood, the SPLC, CARE, MoveOn.org have stepped up to help fund the work that she is doing. Basically, also help fund the Women's March. So this is how we are seeing them come together. For example, we know that de Blasio and wiped out basically and stopped the NYPD surveillance program of certain New York mosques that were linked to terrorism, where we know terrorists have come out of those mosques.
Right, so how important are individuals like Zuhdi Jasser, who's the founder of the American Islamic Forum for Democracy in this country, served our country in the Navy as lieutenant commander, those moderate voices who are thoughtful, have the leadership qualities, build organizations like he's built. Do we need to do a better job of amplifying individuals like Dr. Jasser?
Oh, Jasser is amazing, and there are a few others like him who are speaking out and putting literally their neck on the line to speak out. These are the people who deserve the funding from the ACLU, from Planned Parenthood, from these people. These are the true moderate voices who are pro-America, who are speaking out, but they're not getting any traction. What's happening right now is the enemy of my enemy is my friend, and this is exactly why we're seeing organizations like the ACLU and Planned Parenthood and the SPLC come together and work with terrorist-designated organizations like CARE, the Council on American Islamic Relations, and the co-conspirators like ISNA and MPAC and these type of organizations. So this is where we are right now. Organizations like ours, Dan and John, work with the likes of Zahdi Jasser, work with the likes of Tawfiq Hamid, many of the moderates, Islamic moderates who are speaking out, but organizations like ours do not have the funding and the deep pockets like the SPLC, who's got hundreds of millions of dollars in its bank accounts offshore.
She is Brigitte Gabriel. She's the chairman of ACT for America. Her new book, she's a New York Times bestseller, her new book, easy for me to say, Rise in Defense of Judeo-Christian Values and Freedom. Brigitte, thanks for joining us. Good luck with your book.
Thank you very much. Have a great day.
And she joined us on the Turnkey.pro answer line.
It's what Chicago is talking about. It's Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy on AM 560. The Answer.
Mostly cloudy and not as warm. Heavy thunderstorms this afternoon, a high of 79. Cloudy and humid tonight, showers and a heavier thunderstorm early. Then a shower, low 69. I will not water my tomatoes, Jim Talamonte.
All right, Mr. Cass, thanks so much. There are already showers south of us. If you're heading back down to the southern part of the state to get more of those peaches, you'll run into some weather on the way. Right now, the inbound Edens is clear, but outbound it's heavy till you get past Skokie Road. 32 minutes is the drive time from Montrose to Lake Cook. Spur is slow going in both directions due to construction. Kennedy, just 38 minutes, O'Hare to downtown. Outbound 42. Inbound, the express lanes are heavier than the locals. Eisenhower, 45 minutes, 390 to the Circle. 26 from Manheim. Outbound 42 to 390. Stevenson, 45 minutes, 355 to Lakeshore Drive. Outbound 36. The Ryan, 24 minutes, 95 to downtown. Southbound Tri-State still heavy, 137 to Bradley. And from the Adams Tollway to Irving Park. Northbound 75th to the Hinsdale Oasis and Roosevelt Lawrence. Veterans Memorial from Boughton to the Reagan Tollway. And southbound 53. The roadwork delays are from Euclid to Higgins. Jim Talamonte in the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center.
Success happens with an affordable full-time IT staff from Turnkey IT. Just listen.
We're a contracting architecture firm with 50 employees in 2 states. We hosted our own email and file and print servers on a local area network, and the systems were always down more than they were up. Very frustrating. Turnkey IT migrated our email to Office 365 and simplified our network using additional cloud-based systems and cool advanced technologies. All our company's local data is backed up and replicated. Security measures are in place to avoid dangerous threats online, and we have a really nice voice over IP phone system. Remote users can make phone calls and appear like they're in the office when they're at a construction site. With reliable systems, our employees are more productive, and that's transformed the company's bottom line. Thank you, Turnkey IT.
Your business can have great success too, with a full-time IT staff starting at $7.95 a month from Turnkey IT.
Leave the technical stuff to the pros so you can focus on the important things. Visit turnkey.pro today. Turnkey.pro.
Balance of Nature's fruits and veggies in a capsule.
I've got ankylosing spondylitis, which is a arthritic disease, calcification of the major joints and spine, and I just don't have the pain that I used to have. It's really kind of amazing. Balance of Nature has been an amazing product. I've recommended it to literally hundreds. I'm a pastor, and I've said, y'all just try it. Give it a month. Give it a try. And so hopefully they have. But it's an amazing product, and the neatest thing is when you first open up that bottle and you can smell the fruits and vegetables. Every time I open one, I just get a big kick out of that.
When you call, use discount code CHICAGO, and we'll take 35% off your first preferred set of fruits and veggies and have them shipped to you free. Call 800-246-8751. That's 1-800-246-8751, or go online to balanceofnature.com. and use discount code CHICAGO.
Are you stuck in a bad home mortgage? Well, join the club that has about 10 million other American families. But I may be able to help you. My name is Lou Bridges. I'm an attorney with the law firm of Lou Bridges & Associates. We've been helping distressed homeowners like you for over 8 years now. Give us a call. We provide free consultations. I guarantee you it will not be a sales pitch. We will give you our honest legal analysis, counsel, recommendations, and advice regarding your options.
We are experts in doing loan modifications successfully. We know the regs. We understand the process. Most importantly, we don't take no for an answer. We fight. We are prepared, and we win. We save houses. We make houses affordable. So if you want to keep your house affordable, contact us.
Go to bridgeslaw.net or call 224-513-1231. That's 224-513-1231.
Remember, people, never give up the land. Fight for truth and justice. You do that, I guarantee you'll never be alone in this country.
Andrew Womack is coming back to the Chicago area. Don't miss this upcoming free event, the Chicago Gospel Truth Conference. This year, Andrew is joined by Powerhouse Bible teacher Keith Moore of Branson, Missouri. This year's conference will again be held at the Western Lombard Yorktown Center, August 23rd through 25th. Come expecting to receive profound revelation in the Word at this life-changing time of teaching and ministry, where the Word will be taught with clarity, simplicity, with a special emphasis on God's unconditional love and the balance between grace and faith. The conference is free, so bring your family and friends. Go to awmi.net/events for registration and event details. Andrew's Ministry of the Word will change you and set you free. Many will be saved, filled with the Holy Spirit, and healed. Special times of worship led by recording artists Charlie and Jill LeBlanc will uplift and encourage you. You'll be glad you were there. Go to awmi.net/events for registration and conference details.
Diabetes, high blood pressure, anxiety meds, everyone's on them. If you're a 50-year-old male, maybe a bit porky, and you may even have type 2 diabetes, $1 million of term insurance may only cost you about $200 a month. Call Term Provider. Speak with Big Lou at 800-444-2013. Big Lou will find a term life policy for you even if you have type 2 diabetes, are overweight, or have high blood pressure. Term Provider has helped thousands of people like you who think they can't afford term life insurance. To buy $1 million of affordable term life for you, all you need to do is call Big Lou at 800-444-2013. Lou will make sure the scales are tipped in your favor. Call 800-444-2013. Big Lou will answer your call and work to fit you into a term life policy that you can afford. Remember, Big Lou's like you. He's on meds, too. Call 800-444-2013. 800-444-2013.
Got an email last night from a lady in Florida who doubted my sincerity about Relief Factor until she tried it. She tried Relief Factor. In her case, it took her almost 3 weeks, and she woke up pain-free. Relief Factor was the answer she's been looking for. This makes my 60 seconds to tell you about Relief Factor some of the happiest times of my day, because I know people are going to get the relief that they've been craving. You can get all the pain relief benefits of Relief Factor without the negative side effects of ibuprofen or prescription drugs. Physicians created Relief Factor as a crucial way to support the body's fights against aches and pains. So no matter your age, maybe you're just too sore after a great workout at the gym, or if you're like me and you're of a certain age and you want to start dealing with the aches and pains of life, give Relief Factor a try. The 3-week quick start is $19.95. Try it for 3 weeks. It's $19.95. Decide if it's for you or not. ReliefFactor.com. ReliefFactor.com, or call 800-500-8384. 800-500-8384. Relief Factor.
Hey, honey, what's going on?
I was just logging in and checking on our accounts, and I thought we were going to do better this year.
I know. I've been trying to watch what I spend. No more stopping for coffee for me.
I don't think giving up coffee is going to do it. We need more income for our day-to-day, not to mention setting aside something for the kids' college and our retirement.
Man, I wish there was an answer.
For most of us, no one ever taught us how to invest, yet it's a skill that we all need. If you're looking to generate extra income, Online Trading Academy, the leader in financial education, can help. Attend one of Online Trading Academy's free introductory classes, and they'll show you how to create monthly, weekly, or even daily income using their patented supply and demand strategy. Plus, this month, they'll send you home with their free investor kit, loaded with guides to smarter investing and lessons from the pros just for attending. Register now by calling 888-984-TRADE, 888-984-8723, or OTAChicago.com. 888-984-TRADE or OTAChicago.com.
AM 560, The Answer.
Dan and John Cass in for Amy J this morning. It's been fun, almost as much fun as going to the Sox game on Saturday night, where the 18 fans in attendance were treated to Marian Catholic sister Mary Jo Sobiak throwing out the first pitch.
This is Sister Mary Jo, who is going to throw out the first pitch, but with a little added extra. Look at this thing. A pretty good job of it. Throws it in the zone.
So I asked her, how hard can you throw a baseball? And she purposely took something off it on the pitch there because she wanted to show her impressive movement. And she said she's been to like a county fair or an amusement park where they have that game where you can throw the baseball and it'll tell you how hard you throw it and you try to match it. She said she threw the ball. Ready for this?
Yeah.
76 miles per hour.
I mean,
sweet.
And you had to see the first pitch. I mean, because you saw what she did, right?
Yeah. Filthy.
Bounced it off her bicep and then threw this yellow hammer.
Pop it up in the air. And beautiful.
I mean, the great pantheon of Marian Catholic athletes. You got your Rodney Harrison. You got your John Holasek. You got your Tyler Eulis. Now you have your sister Mary Jo Sobiak.
I got to Google Tyler Eulis.
He was the point guard for the Phoenix Suns.
Oh,
Played at Kentucky.
Sorry, haven't been watching basketball lately. Ever since P.J. Carlissimo got choked.
That's been a spell, then.
Yeah, it's been a spell.
Okay.
You choke your coach and you let it go. Listen to the Chicago Way podcast. We're dropping it this afternoon. I asked the question, will Ron pull the plug on his reelection?
I hope at least he'll pull the plug on his dancing with unsuspecting Chicago residents. John Cass, thanks for joining us. Turn it over to Mike Scott for the headlines.
Dangerous waves expected.